catch us on DSTV Audio Bouquet, channel 802 or OpenView 628 if you are in South Africa. If not, worry not, you can reach us from anywhere in the world on channelafrica.co.za. We are together until 5 p.m. Central African Time. My name is Neto Chemane. Osiati konyangazi mumkhatshwa phandle konjani moyani vuguvugu dendele. Coming up on Africa at Play, we will get to hear from the South African coach Molefi, who says he could not fault his players after they were held to a 0-0 all draw by Niger in a dramatic Group C match played at the Nelson Mandela National Stadium yesterday night. The game might have ended goalless, but there was certainly no shortage of drama and intrigue in a match that saw 2 VAR penalty reviews go against South Africa. Referee Bouchra Kabui also issued 4 yellow cards to South Africa during the match, a development that will not have pleased Nzeki.
As a team, we understand what tournament football is all about. In any tournament football, there are 3 types of results. You lose some, you win some, you draw some. So as of now, we have drawn 2 matches, we have won 1. So we are left with the last match of our group stage. And we are looking forward to the last game. In terms of our performance, I can't fault the players and the team. In terms of our approach, we did our best. But we are fully aware that we are playing against a team that hasn't got any point or maximum points in this tournament. So they were more of a dark horse for us because in simple terms they had nothing to lose. And we could see even when the game came to an end, they were the ones celebrating a draw. So we understand that going back home, they will be able to give a positive result of having played a draw against South Africa.
We'll also get to hear from Musonda Chibulu, who is a radio and TV analyst from Zambia, talking about our topic of the day, where the Kenyan President William Ruto has promised every Kenyan player a cool $20,000 if they beat Chipolopolo of Zambia in this Sunday's Chen Showdown.
Firstly, I think that over the years, football and money are synonymous. Money plays a significant role in football and influences various aspects of the sport. So, for example, where we are now, before we even talk about what players get, consider the fact that clubs spend a lot of millions of money in just moving a player from one club to the other. And these have telling effects on the performances of the club. And if you consider, the leagues in Africa that are doing well, basically there's a lot of money involved.
Also coming up, we will be talking to Letabo Kidijang, who is born and raised in Johannesburg, but attended university in the US for 2 years before signing for Liganes under-23 in Spain back in 2021 for a year. Bounced around some amateur teams in the US for a while, then went on trial for FC Dallas.
Hi, this is Letabo Kidijang. Catch me on Africa at Play, where I'll be chatting about my new move to newly promoted Premier League side, Amawele FC in Eswatini. I'm a midfielder winger, so you don't want to miss out. Tune in. See you later.
14:05 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome to Africa at Play. Let's now bring you up to speed with regards to the ongoing African Nations Championship Chen tournament that is currently co-hosted in East Africa by Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. If you have missed out on match day 4 of the matches, Madagascar beat Central African Republic by 2-0. Mauritania prevailed by 1-0 against the Stallions of Burkina Faso, while the Atlas Lionesses of Morocco beat the Chipolopolo of Zambia by 3-1. Then on Thursday, Angola went down by 2-0 against DR Congo, while Guinea and Algeria shared the spoils, playing to a 1-1 draw. South Africa and Niger played yesterday at the Nelson Mandela Stadium in Uganda, and they played to a 0-0 draw. Matches are still coming up on match day 5 of 5. We will see Central African Republic up against Taifa Stars of Tanzania at 1900 Central African Time. Burkina Faso, the Stallions, will take on Madagascar also at 7 p.m. Central African Time. Action continues tomorrow between the Central African side, DR Congo, who will be taking on the Atlas Lionesses of Morocco from North Africa at 2 p.m. Central African Time. Zambia up against Kenya also at 2 p.m. Central African Time. And we will continue to update you with all things, different fixtures taking place on the African continent and various parts of the globe. Let's now welcome to Africa at Play our correspondent based in Uganda, in Kampala, who is currently at the Fiesa Games, East African Secondary Schools Games that are taking place in the neighboring country in Kenya, in Kakamega. Mr. Mpoza, good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much, my brother Neto Chemane, for having me on the show.
Thank you so much for joining us. What's the latest with the Fiesa Games, an event that is very close to my heart because development is not an event, it is a journey, and this journey is worth being invested in so that you prepare great future stars?
Well, yes, like you said, it's a journey that starts early, a journey that is supposed to build future professional sportsmen, a journey that is supposed to probably bring medals, Olympic medals to Africa, the World Cups, different World Cups in different sports to Africa. Because as we speak today, these young people are participating in 25 sports disciplines. 25 sports disciplines. So that means a lot because if probably Africa would be able to win in all these 25 sports disciplines on the world stage, then Africa would become a talking point in the world of sports. Yes, the games officially were launched yesterday at Buhungu Stadium in Kakamega, but of course the games started on Wednesday. Thursday. So different teams from different countries. Like I told you, that there are 8 countries being represented in this championship. We have Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Burundi, Rwanda. We have South Sudan. We have Ivory Coast. All these countries are here participating in the games with over 4,000 students participating in the different sports disciplines. Like I told you, there are 25. As for now, they are in the preliminary stage of the games. Netball, there's football, girls, football, boys, there is athletics, there is badminton, there is cricket, there is talk about all these sports. They are all here. So apart probably the only aquatic sport they're doing here is swimming. There's no boat racing. There are no other aquatic sports. So no swimming that they are still doing in the aquatic. But the other ball games, actually all the ball games are being done in these games. All the ball games in the world are being done here. So it's mostly ball games and athletics and then swimming. So we are now seeing teams facing each other from different countries. For instance, in football, we have had teams from Uganda playing all their games against their counterparts in Kenya, Rwanda, and Tanzania. I can only tell you that the Ugandan teams are still dominating because actually Uganda is the defending champion of football because this title was won by Amos College of Uganda in the last event. So, but of course, even netball, Uganda is by the way dominating netball in the East African region because even the team you'd think is the weakest from Uganda still wins on the East African level. Netball has really grown in Uganda more than any other country in East Africa. Tanzania is trying and Kenya, but they have not yet reached Uganda's level. And then the Kenyans are also having a good, they're having a good time in basketball, handball, especially handball and basketball and handball, but also in boys football they're doing well. Then Rwanda is also doing so well in girls basketball and handball. And then, of course, South Sudan, because of their height, you cannot undermine their performance in basketball. So far, the games are going on well. There's what we call they are vibrant. I was going to say there's a vibe in them, but of course, that means that the games are very vibrant. and the young people are having a good time in Kakamega.
That's the voice of Sam Mpoza, our correspondent based in East Africa, in Kampala, Uganda, currently in Kakamega, where the Fiesta Games, East African Secondary Schools Games, are ongoing. It is a multiple sports event where you get to witness action from different sporting codes: football, netball, basketball, and many more. Sam Mpoza, please do stay on the line. We take a short break. We will wrap up our conversation with Sam Mpoza after the short break.
Africa at Play with Neto and Neto Chemane. In this episode of Channel Africa Conversations, Peter talks to Dr. Tulisile Buddha, an academic, author, and an expert in indigenous knowledge systems. Join us for a compelling discussion on preserving African languages and traditions in the digital era. Dr. Tulisile unpacks the role of educators, explorers, and how technologies like AI can support cultural preservation, and challenges us to rethink how we honor African heritage. You can find the episode on YouTube, SABC Plus, and on our website, channelafrica.co.za. This episode is a must-listen for educators, creators, and change makers across the continent. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa at Play with Neto and Neto Chemane.
14:12 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a warm welcome to Africa at Play. We are live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time. Should you miss out on any of our conversations, please do make time to visit our Channel Africa website. Click on Programs and search for Africa at Play. At the bottom right screen of Africa at Play, you will be able to click there and access those conversations, which you can listen to at your time of leisure. Do get in touch with us on our different social media platforms. On Instagram and X is at Channel Africa 1, and on Facebook the name of our station, Channel Africa. We've got our correspondent from East Africa, Sam Mpoza, on the line, currently in Kakamega for the Fiesta Games, which is the East African Secondary Schools Games taking place in the neighboring country, Kenya. Let's update you with the Premier League, where action kicked off yesterday for the brand new season 2025-2026. Liverpool, the reigning champions, opened the curtain in style, beating AFC Bournemouth by 4-2, a 6-goal thriller. And this shows that they mean business. How you start is always very important, because during the late stage of the league, it's going to get tough. And even those teams that are relegation threatened will be playing their hearts out to grab some points, and then it becomes difficult for any outfit, including those that are referred to as the top 5 athletes. Aston Villa is up against Newcastle, and it's still 0-0 as it stands. Today, there's still Brighton coming up against Fulham at 4 p.m. Central African Time. Sunderland takes on West Ham at the same time. Then there is Tottenham Hotspur up against Burnley, also at 4 p.m. Central African Time. Wolverhampton Wanderers, also known as Wolves, will take on Manchester City, the Citizens, at 18:30 Central African Time. And tomorrow, it will be the Blues, Chelsea, up against Crystal Palace at 3 p.m. Central African Time. Nottingham Forest, the Tricky Trees they are also called, will take on Brentford at 3 p.m. Central African Time. Then Manchester United and Arsenal. It is my big match of the weekend. It is tomorrow at 17:30 Central African Time. So it is action galore in the world of football. We're still going to update you with regards to the MTN 8 that is taking place in South Africa under the umbrella of the Premier Soccer League, as we will be talking to legends Voyomiri as well as Lakile Khwati, whom we will introduce properly at 14:30 Central African Time. Let's bring back Sam Mpoza, who is in Kakamega. Sam Mpoza, you are in Kenya, right where action is still taking place. You've left Uganda, another co-hosting nation in East Africa, to go to Kenya, another co-hosting nation in East Africa, not forgetting Tanzania. What have you zoomed into in the latest CHAN action?
Well, the CHAN action is also a big thing here in East Africa because of, like you said, it's the Pamoja countries. Pamoja means unity. So the 3 East African countries united in Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania are the ones hosting this championship ahead of others hosting the grand hosting of the Africa Cup of Nations 2027. This one, of course, everyone looks at it as a dress rehearsal to the tournament. But, of course, it is going on successfully. Yesterday we had Group C action where we had Niger taking on South Africa, and then we also had Guinea against Algeria. And now, you see, when this tournament was starting, Algeria and South Africa were the big ranked teams in this group. Of course, Uganda being host were also rated back in this group, and then, of course, Guinea and Niger. This when the event started unfolding, the first game Algeria beat Uganda 3-0, and of course everyone thought that Algeria was a big force in the group because by beating the host 3-0, that was a very strong statement. However, Algeria came along and then were able to draw with South Africa 1-1, and of course South Africa and Algeria, one would say, okay, yeah, these are teams that probably are matching in terms of power and energy. Now, yesterday, in these two games, everyone would think that Algeria was going to have walkover Guinea, and then South Africa will also have another walkover Niger. But this did not come to pass because Guinea, first of all, against Algeria, was the first to score. And Algeria struggled to find an equalizer, which came late in the dying minutes of the game. And then we saw South Africa struggling to break through the Nigerian defense lines, which were actually proved to be so difficult. So on several occasions, you saw that the referee had to go and check and to find check with the VAR whether South Africa would get an opportunity, probably of a penalty, which also did not come to pass. So the game ended. Now, this makes the whole group very complicated because there's no runaway leader. We thought that Algeria was going to win probably all their games and become runaway leaders, and then the other four countries will now fight for the second place, which is not now the case, with one game to go in this group. So now leads the group with 6 points, but we have Algeria leading, coming second with 5 points, and then South Africa comes third with 5 points. Algeria has a better goal advantage, but they are all sitting at 5 points with South Africa. And then you have Guinea, who have already packed their bags. By now, they should be flying to Conakry because they finished with 4 points. Their games were done yesterday. And then Niger, who are last with 1 point that they were able to grab from South Africa, they will now be on the flight to Nairobi with Algeria to go and play their last game because this group will have their last game played on Monday. Uganda will be taking on South Africa at the Nelson Mandela National Stadium in Kampala, and at the same time, Niger will be taking on Algeria in Yale Stadium in Nairobi. These games are going to be played simultaneously to avoid syndicate. So that is how the group looks. Very tricky now. No outright winner, no outright leader. Uganda has to beat South Africa if they are to survive and go to the quarterfinals. But as well, South Africa has also has to beat Uganda to qualify. Niger has no more chance in this tournament. They will only be playing for break. But they are facing a very tough team in Algeria who actually want to win that game and go to the quarterfinals. But you should not underestimate Niger in this game because I'm sure they want to leave behind a statement that though we did not qualify, but we went back home with 4 points, like Guinea. So it's going to be a tough day for all the 4 teams still in the tournament on Monday when they meet again. By now, as I speak today, all the Nelson Mandela tickets have been bought out. They were bought out yesterday on Friday. The game is on Monday, but there's no more tickets. I've heard of people who have been calling my friends, trying to ask for tickets, whether you can. And, people are even offering 4 times the money to buy the tickets, 4 times the price of the ticket, because everyone wants to go and watch that game. Because it's a final. The final before a final. The final before a final, because the two teams meeting on Monday, Uganda and South Africa, they both need to win that game. Whoever wins it takes the day. A draw works for Uganda, but it might be dangerous for South Africa if Algeria beats Niger. So it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a very interesting game. And that we should expect a very, very good day on that day. But, in Kenya, Kenya is not also safe because they are leading the group. Their group with 6 points, but there are two other teams that are actually vying. Actually, there are two other teams that are vying for the same spot because Morocco is not far from them. But there is also DR Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, who actually can also get to the quarterfinals. So in that group too, it's going to be tough when in the last game. Among the four hosts, it's only Tanzania who are safe because for them they are 9 points clear. They already qualified, and anything that comes out of their last game will not matter much. They can still go through. So that is how CHAN is going on here in the East African region. We have seen 2 good weeks of good football, very competitive. You may not know that these are second teams in their respective countries because most of these countries came with their second teams. If you look at Bafana, the team that was competing in the AFCON qualifiers is not the team that they brought for this championship, the CHAN championship. You look at Senegal just came back with one player from the team that won the championship in Algeria, and it's not the squad that they're using in the World Cup qualifiers and the Africa Cup of Nations. Algeria, same story, and everywhere. And Uganda too, because Uganda is actually using only 2 players from the main team that is playing the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers and the World Cup qualifiers. So that is it. But remember, immediately after this CHAN, on 3rd of September, between 3rd and 5th of September, again Africa is going back into the World Cup qualifiers. So there's no resting. Football, Uganda is going to host 2 games on 5th of September. Somalia will be playing here. They'll be playing Guinea. Guinea might even decide to stay here. They are playing Somalia at the Nelson Mandela Stadium on 5th September in the World Cup qualifier. And the same day, Uganda will also be playing. So that is how football is. East Africa is very, very busy in sports, and the fans are enjoying. The Ugandans are enjoying, and the East Africans are enjoying football.
That is... Okay, thank you so much, Big Brother Sam Mpoza, our correspondent based in Kampala, Uganda, currently in Kakamega in Kenya, where the Fiesta Games, East African secondary schools games are ongoing. Sampoza, thank you so much for updating us. I found it very exciting when you spoke about the demand of tickets, the sold-out affair between the Uganda Cranes and South Africa's Bafana, with local-based players that are playing in South Africa and Uganda. It's good to see, even at that level, the appetite is just so much for the game of football. Thank you so much for the update. All the best in Kakamega.
Thank you so much, my brother.
That's how we wrap up our conversation with Sam Mpoza, who was updating us on the ongoing CHAN tournament co-hosted in East Africa by the Pamoja nations, Pamoja standing for unity. These are the nations that consist of Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And he's currently in Kakamega in Kenya, where the Fiesta Games are currently ongoing. We take a short break. All Things Africa at Play continues.
Your Saturday soundtrack. In this episode of Channel Africa Conversations, Peter talks to Dr. Tulisile Buddha, an academic, author, and an expert in indigenous knowledge systems. Join us for a compelling discussion on preserving African languages and traditions in the digital era. Dr. Tulisile unpacks the role of educators, explorers, and how technologies like AI can support cultural preservation, and challenges us to rethink how we honor African heritage. You can find the episode on YouTube, SABC Plus, and on our website, channelafrica.co.za. This episode is a must-listen for educators, creators, and change makers across the continent. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Kamanditi so fast lahlande swase sihlukane uthando lwethu ntombi qina njengesambende kuyalunga ngale ndaba yebo wamalume bami masanazo kuyalunga ngale ndaba yebo
.30 Central African Time, one of the songs enjoyed by football fans at stadiums in South Africa, Masambe no Baintando. He must be a very happy man where he is because this song catches fire, and even if you trace the music video, you see the shots of the Soweto derby and fans just going crazy. And we were just talking off air with the MTN 8 legends and our technical operator, Wiseman Mangale, about how you will never understand some of the things in South Africa unless you are South African. Let's welcome the football legends to this conversation, starting with Vuyo Miri, also known as Smereza. Vuyo, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon, Neto. You know, we have this thing called protocol with my skipper, so I'll let the leader lead me.
Yeah.
protocol of the day.
Yeah, protocol.
Yeah, no,
Skipper.
protocol. No, it's all about respect. And thank you, viewer. Welcome to our yellow team family. Yeah, it's one of our time, and yeah, it's afternoon.
Yeah, it's afternoon.
Good afternoon, and you know this song we dedicated it to our supporters. We appreciate them. We know that it's the national anthem of all these soccer teams, of all the supporters of all these teams. And firstly, let me thank you. Birthday message.
Yeah.
I know you sent me a video wishing me happy birthday, and thank you so very much.
Yeah, no
It was
problem.
so special. Thank you.
Yeah, I still want my piece of cake though.
I even no, it's still there.
Okay.
It's waiting for you.
All right.
Yeah,
all
no.
right.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Thank you. Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Skipper, you spoke about this song, you know, what it does to the fans, but also the players, because when it plays, even if it's that halftime break, as you walk out of the pitch, go into the dressing room, it gives you that thing to say, come back strong. What are some of the songs that you used to play during your playing days that still had that thing in your heart?
Yo, too many songs. I remember Rumi Malinga's songs, may his soul rest in peace. After like winning the game, we'll go and sing with the supporters, you know. Pirate years too many. Like now,
Yeah.
there's this national anthem of Orlando Pirate, Kancane Kancane.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I used to enjoy, and now after I retired, you know, it's good sometimes to sing with the supporters, and you know that feeling.
Yeah.
It's so amazing.
Marvelous. That's Lucky Lekhwate, former captain of Orlando Pirates, a man who's been in football for many years. You can ask people like Mamaria Ledwaba, who speaks very highly of like who got to meet him when he was still a youngster. Your relationship is very special with Mamaria.
Yo, it's special. I remember he took me from Real Rovers, where I started my professional soccer, and I was working with Sello Chuga Twala. And after he joined Real Stars, and they called me with Mamaria, and he said, I want you to come and join my team. Hey, but you used to give us a hard time, like, man, come join my team. And yeah, I went to join her team, and yo, she took care of me. Because of Real Stars, there's where Real Rovers, there's where we're struggling, not getting paid. And you know, going to Real Stars, they gave me a nice salary. And after we got promoted to the PSL, they increased my salary, and I bought my first car. And Mamaria, she became like a mother to me. And you know, after that, she sent me to Orlando Pirates. I remember after selling the team, they called us one by one. They called me. They said to me, Lucky, tomorrow 7 o'clock we must be at the office of Orlando Pirates. I'm like, are you serious, Mama? I said, no, I'm serious. You deserve one arc. Go meet with Dr. Ivan with everything. It's settled.
Yeah.
You know? Go there, then talk to the chairman, and go there. Work hard. Continue to discipline. Pirate is not like Real Stars. You must work hard. But I know, Hore, you know how to behave, and you know how to discipline yourself. Go there, discipline, and make Mama proud and Real Stars. Ne? I'm like, hey, thank you, Mama, thank you.
Wow.
You know, the good thing is that even today, every morning, he'll send me Bible verses. You know,
Wow.
Yeah, he'll always
To keep you
to
going.
keep me going. You know, motivate me. And whenever we meet, he'll always like, you know, tell me good news, and like, you know what, I like the way you are behaving, the way you are dressing. You know how to conduct yourself. Wanaka, keep it up, ne? And I know even the chairman is so proud of you.
Wow, exciting indeed. Lifetime relationship right there. Wow. Let's bring back Vuyo to the conversation. For your days at Platinum Stars, you used to play your heart out there.
Neto, you know, this is, I think, one of my most memorable times in my career where, you know, you felt wanted, you felt important, and, you know, we won a lot of trophies there. And we were just enjoying our football, you know. We were called rejects from the big teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now this is where now you have this team now where there's not much pressure, not enough maybe support following, but then we were just playing football and enjoying ourselves, and they just took care of us, you know. Once you are made to feel important, you enjoy your football.
Wow, exciting indeed. You also played for Kabuyelo, Mamelodi Sundowns, Masandawana, and the captain here played for Orlando Pirates. So you're playing against each other at 3 p.m. Central African time.
Yes, it's always been a crunch game when you face my Orlando Pirates. You know, from back in the days. We all know the Hoffman's Cup tournament,
Yeah.
you know, where
During the days of
yes,
and Sheikh Skungwane.
Sheikh Skungwane, you know, we'll always there was always that hype, And I think it's still continuing today, when Pirates and Sundowns meet, the country stands.
It's fireworks.
Even now, you see in the tournament, everybody's talking about Pirates and Sundowns game, forgetting that there's the other semi-final of Sikukuni and Stellenbosch. So yeah, but then it's the reality of it, it brings the vibe. Like my skipper, we chose a song now, we've been missing the football field. Now it's back and the supporters are happy. So yeah, it was dedicated to them that, that the soccer season is back again.
Glittering indeed. Now, in terms of the last legend standing, which team is allocated to you?
My jersey is long time.
Elishawa.
So I was allocated Richards Bay, and obviously they faced Mamelodi Sundowns. So yeah, but then it's good to see like teams like Richards Bay, in the top 8, which means there's something good that they are doing. As much as they lost in the quarterfinals, but then it's good. Nobody would have expected Richards Bay to be in the top 8. So it encourages other teams also, to work hard, because now a lot of people will think that MTN 8 is a curtain raiser to the season, which is, I don't believe it is. The season starts with the MTN 8 because once you start doing well in the tournament, it just sets the tone for the upcoming season.
Good tone for the league.
Yeah.
Exciting indeed. Skipper, your team?
My team? Guess, Mr. Nat. I want you to guess.
Yeah. Why do I have
you can take a guess. No, take a guess.
Fishy.
You see, I'm smiling.
I have a feeling you're moving with the Buccaneers.
You see. A good guess.
Yeah.
Hey, the previous years, I was unlike, to choose other teams. And I'll reach the final, losing the final. The other year, I was like Sundowns, they lost to Pirate. And last year, I was Stelis, lost to Pirate again. And I'm like, no, it's okay. I lost to my team. So this year, I'm Orlando Pirate, and I'm so excited. I'm in the semi-final. And obviously, I want Pirate to win the tournament, knowing that I'm going to win the last legend, and I'm going to take care or donate the money to a charity of my choice. Last year, yes, like Vuyo now. Utswile Marno, out of at least 20,000,
Yeah,
that
could
is
have been
going
worse.
to, yes.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm still standing a chance to win 108,000. So if I win that 108,000, I'm going to split it to different charities. Yeah, but that's my wish. Last year, 20,000 it is. I managed to go to a school, buy them soccer kit, netball kit, soccer balls, like soccer net, netball net, and they went to play a tournament with that soccer kit, of sponsoring by MTN, and they won a tournament. So big up to MTN for the role that they're playing and for helping us to, remain relevant.
Exciting stuff indeed. 14:39 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, we're still having an exciting conversation with the MTN 8 legends, Vuyo Mere, who used to play for Mamelodi Sundowns and many other teams you can think of, including skipper, my captain, Lakile Khwati, who used to play for Orlando Pirates and many other teams. And today we will witness the two teams going up against each other, and it is exciting moments in the MTN 8. We take a short break. When we come back, we'll find out from the legends how many goals have been scored so far and what do these goals mean under the umbrella of the MTN 8.
Ahoy, matey!
Captain here to help, right, boys?
Set sail with us on a digital voyage like no other. Channel Africa has a treasure trove of awesomeness. That is our website and social media pages.
Tell me, why are you here?
We want you to be part of our adventure.
The winds are changing, Captain. And this time...
Imagine a world where curiosity knows no bounds, where entertainment meets enlightenment, and where every click leads to the African perspective. Visit us on our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, or follow us on Instagram or on X at Channel Africa 1. Go on, like us on Facebook at Channel Africa 1. So, spread the word. Tell a friend that Channel Africa's online variety is what they need on the web. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Channel 802.
14:41 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a warm welcome to Africa at Play. We still have the legends of the MTN 8, Vuyo Mere, together with Lakile Khwati. Captain, what's the story with the goals? How many goals so far? What does it mean?
Goals, another great initiative, and the credit must go to the teams. I think quarterfinal scoring 16 goals.
Yo.
it's a record. It's a record of like since the start of the tournament, and like now we are on 16 goals, but one goal doesn't count because of like they scored like extra time.
Okay.
Yeah. They only count the goals that they scored regulation time 90 minutes, which is 15 goals, and that 15 goals it worth 300,000. So it's a new record, and I just want to encourage the teams. Actually, the strikers, man, they must bank goals, so that
goals.
Yeah, the charities they can benefit. We saw last year, end of the tournament, they went to the Tokosa Foundation, to donate. I was there, and it was nice. And MTN, keep it up, the good work, and to donate to the to give back to the charities.
So strikers must score more goals and will forgive the goalkeepers for conceding.
So even us as defenders will forgive us.
Yeah, we'll forgive the defenders
for the benefit
as well.
of the charities.
Yeah. V, what does the MTN 8 mean to you?
A lot of exciting things that they are doing, Neto. There's so many initiatives that they came up with in this tournament. As we all know, the prize money even went up from 8 million to 10 million.
Yeah.
And now there's 10 million at stake for the supporters and the fans that can be won. But then the ultimate one is the last fan standing, which is R1 million. So now all the supporters have to do, and the fans obviously be on the MTN network, and just recharge with 20 rand or more. 20 rand or more, and then you dial star 142 hash, star 142 hash, and then you follow the prompts, the MTN 8 tournament obviously, and then you just follow the prompts which will lead you into the competition. There's lots and lots of prizes. And MTN, there's also bags, Dreambacks, where they are donating soccer kits, they are netball kits at disadvantaged schools.
Yeah.
So they are going across South Africa, and we've been doing that. Razo was in Northwest last weekend with the team, and they're just donating, and everybody's a winner at MTN. So yeah, it's encouraging.
Good initiative indeed to empower those who can empower themselves. Skipper, the semi-finals, I always find them very exciting, where you play 2 matches.
Exciting, eh? Yeah, and talking from experience, I played, and it's so exciting knowing that you play first leg and you second leg. And today, talking about Pirate and Chiefs, Pirate and Sundowns, you look at the history. I once played in the semi-final against Sundowns. We beat them 3-2 at Orlando, and we went to Loftus, we draw 1-1. That goal of Opamanyisa. It's always exciting, to play home and away. And I always advise, the players, or obviously, as a Pagania, that you win first game, go into the semi-final, you'll enjoy,
Wow.
Home and away, that you win away or you win home, you go to the final. And like today, we're waiting for 3 o'clock. When I go watch it live at the stadium, it's going to be so exciting. The history of Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates, especially with this cup, MTN 8. The supporters are so are so excited, about the fixture. Even if Mabagani are not doing well, but a cup is a different game. Romero will tell you. I was teasing him. 2013, they won the same tournament, against Orlando Pirates, and I was like, Vuyo, you were lucky because of Lucky was not there.
Yeah, he was lucky because Lucky was not
Lucky
there.
was not there.
Like that English. Exciting indeed. As we wrap up this conversation, football is not just entertainment, it's a business too. What are your thoughts on football as a business?
No, it's a business. Like it's now, that it's not only the teams and the players that are benefiting, even, people outside there, they are benefiting. Before, yes, it was only the players and, the teams. But now, everyone, the consumers, are benefiting. Like the supporters, there's this thing they call it bazokufila, you just rock your favorite attire of your favorite team. Go to the stadium. When you get there, they can choose you, to win a prize just to wear the attire of your favorite team. We saw even the previous games, some of the supporters, they won them, their prize. So football, it's business now, and it's good because of it helps, everyone, even those who are not like, playing, supporting. I always say football without the supporters, there's no football.
Wow, exciting indeed. It's like a great musician performing at an empty auditorium.
Yeah. I do not come into that point where I once played in an empty stadium. It's not good.
It's not nice.
It's not nice. You can hear the coach calling your name. Lucky. I'm like, coach, what?
You play. Remember the COVID time, Razo? It was sad times, you know. Yeah. Once the supporters came back, you could feel the vibe now we're starting to play football again.
V, you got to the 4th floor still playing. You got to 41 still playing the game. It's almost like you were like Bella Nomvet, John Shoes Moshweu, you know, those legends that didn't want to hang up their boots.
Before he speak, they call him a home affairs.
Why is that?
Like, I respect this legend.
Yeah.
No, ask him why. It's like, no. Me home affairs.
No.
And you know what? He's honest, this guy. He's honest.
Wow.
No, Razo, the reason why Razo is mentioning this, you know, we were talking about these guys, you know, who visit Home Affairs constantly, you know, to change some other things. So they don't go there to make ID cards, or they just go there and, you know, different something. But then Razo, no, I can't take credit for anything, you know. I have to thank my God and my ancestors, you know. I was not special, Razo, you know. There were players who were better than me. There were players who worked harder than me. But then God decided to choose me. And, you know, it shows the young ones that it's possible. So the likes of the late Shoes Musho who did it, the likes of Bella Nomvete did it. So now I don't want to sit here and be...
39.
Double treble, obviously. Double treble, Razo. So now it's possible. So we want to see this continue, Razo. We don't want it to end with us, you know, because now, like you said, football, you know, is business. You know, you can... A lot of times, this is what we do the rest of our lives, because football, life after football is tough. It's tough. So now this boy, like now the tournament, you know, it gives them the opportunity to, you know, to have their Christmas early. We win this tournament, yes, Razo. You know, when December comes, you know, you don't have to stress about it.
You're a happy man.
Yeah, you're a happy man. So yes, Razo, I'm truly grateful. You know, even if after retiring, I joined this MTN Legends, and then I get to sit next to my legend, my skipper here. You know, football, you know, can take you, if you just respect your job, football will pay you back all the time. Just be disciplined and then do your job. Appreciate your home. Wherever you are, there's no big or small club. Wherever God puts you, it grants you the opportunity to do to express yourself. Don't say, hey, it's not enough. The thing is that we always complain, Ras. We don't appreciate what we have. We always want more, but then at times we wanna be God. Let God be God, and then you do your part. And then I'm just truly grateful to be part of this great team, the yellow team.
Wow, exciting. I know you have to rush to the game, and I don't want you to miss out on much action. Final one, your message of support to the current crop of players for good financial management.
Yes, sir. You know, you mustn't forget, you know, that football comes to an end. So as much as we want to do the right things, you know, we must just be careful who you involve in your financial issues, because a lot of people now come for us. A lot of us were scammed, and we had good intentions of investing for after football, only to find out that, you know, some people have other ideas. So just be careful, you know, just get people that know their business, but also have a second opinion, or just ask. You know, there's always people who have our best interest at heart. So just be careful out there. There's a lot of scammers.
Wow, good tips indeed. V, thank you so much for pulling through to Africa at Play.
Thank you so much for hosting us, Neto.
Exciting stuff. Skipper, thank you so much.
Thank you. Your cake is waiting for you, Neto.
Okay, sure. Keep it fresh.
It's still fresh for you. It's still fresh.
Yeah. Lovely stuff. That's how we wrap up our conversation with the MTN 8 legends. The big games coming up. Orlando Pirates is Mnyamangenkani up against Masandawana Kabuyelo at 3 p.m. Central African time. You can catch that match on SABC 1 and SABC Plus, including your favorite SABC radio stations. And there's also Sekhukhune United, Babinanoko up against Stellenbosch FC. Stellies, that match at 1800 Central African time. Same platforms will broadcast that match. Africa at Play as Delelisia Shire.
She builds, she leads, she rises. This August, join Channel Africa in celebrating the women who shape our communities, shift narratives, and carve out a future on their own terms.
These These women together ought to be able to turn it right again.
From Cape Town to Kigali, Lagos to Lusaka, African women are rewriting the script. Here's to courage, creativity, and unstoppable progress. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Africa at Play with Neto and Neto Chemane.
Tell me when to say love me, Ginger. 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah. I need your loving, so fresh, so clean. Love me in and out, unfailingly, and I'll be down now. Anytime you call me, I'll be down. I'll be down. Because I love and I love and I love and I love you only. Because I need and I need and I need and I need you more. Yeah, you know I run and I run and I run and I run. Fly, we can fly in the sky in the night. Hold me in your arms and your love and your light. I'm on your wave right now. I'm on your wave right now, yeah. I'm on your vibe now. You got me on your side now, yeah. I'm on your wave right now, yeah. If not you, then I don't wanna know. I don't want no story. Day and night is unconditional. Got me living softly, yeah. Love me judge, love me tender. You know you love turn me up like Nepa. Anything you want and I'ma do whatever. Because I love and I love and I love and I love you only, yeah. Because I need and I need and I need and I need you more. Yeah, you know I run and I run and I run and I run. Fly, fly in the sky in the night. Hold me in your arms and your love and your life. I'm on your wave right now. I'm on your wave right now. Vibe now, you got me on your side now. Yeah, I'm on your wave right now. Yeah. Said love me, judge, love me tender. Love me, judge, love me tender. Said love me, judge, love me tender. Love me, judge, love me tender. You my sugar, my honey, my tender lover. You my sugar, my honey, my tender lover. You are my sugar, my honey, my tender lover. My sugar, my honey, my tender lover. Why would you just open your mouth and say something? Actually, terrified. Yeah.
14:53 Central African Time. An awesome sound, Love Me JJ by Thames. This is Africa at Play, and thank you for tuning in. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome. Let's now go to Lusaka, Zambia, where our correspondent Namuchana is officially introducing the topic of the day, where we're talking about money as a motivator in football because of the incentives that we get to hear about in the ongoing Chan tournament, where William Ruto, the president of Kenya, has promised every Kenyan player a cool $20,000 if they beat Chipolopolo of Zambia tomorrow. And this is not new. We always witness it in different tournaments. We're still going to hear about it later in the year in December in Morocco, where the Africa Cup of Nations will be taking place, kicking off on the 21st rather of December. Let's find out from Namuchana and the football pundits. This is Africa at Play. Please do drop us a WhatsApp or voice note on your thoughts. +27 63 406 9126.
Kenyan President William Ruto has promised every Kenyan football player a cool 20,000 United States dollars if they beat Zambia in tomorrow's game at the ongoing Chan tournament. That's on top of the $20,000 they have already pocketed for their exploits so far. The financial awards increase the motivation of football players to better prepare for sports performance, which has been proven through better setting of performance goals and more careful mental preparation. Financially awarded, the football players seem to respect the coach and follow his instructions sponsors to a greater extent than unawarded football players. We're asking, is money a big motivation factor in football games today? I spoke to Musonda Chibolo, soccer analyst here in Zambia, and my interview with Musonda Chibolo went on like this.
Well, firstly, I think that over the years, football and money are synonymous. Money plays a significant role in football and influences various aspects of the sport. So, for example, where we are now, before we even talk about what players get, consider the fact that clubs spend a lot of millions of money in just moving a player from one club to the other. And these have telling effects on the performances of the clubs. And if you consider, the leagues in Africa that are doing well, basically there's a lot of money involved. North Africa, there's a lot of money, which prevents the best players from moving because they can still make the money in Africa. In certain leagues that do not have so much money, the quality of the league is affected because most of the good players end up leaving for greener pasture. So you find that the domestic leagues, even performance in inter-club competitions in Africa is affected because those that do well are those that are able to buy the best players. When it comes to money as the motivation in terms of salaries and wages, obviously these are extremely important because football is employment for the football players, coaches, and the other staff, the technical staff that are involved in the game. So having said that, when there are these carrots that are downward, they'll serve as motivation. But I think that if national teams are going to do very well, there's need for consistent funding, particularly grassroots level, for you to be able to sustain. Because obviously you can dangle carrots for a particular game, as in the case of Kenya and their presidents, dangling carrots ahead of the game against a very poor Zambia side, I must say. We haven't been properly represented, it has been with this particular team at the chance. It's been a very embarrassing outing. So whether the money is there or not, players obviously know what is at stake. They are ambassadors. I think what they have done incredibly well under the South African, Billy McCarthy. And I was reading the other day when Joe was talking about how he's been motivated in the game by coaches such as Jose Mourinho. And they won the Champions League together with Portugal. And so the money is something that is going to be, but for the game to grow in Kenya and in other places, we don't need to dangle the carrots just for one particular game. And in any case, even if they go ahead and beat Zambia, then exit at the very next header, the money would have meant nothing. So it's good to talk about appreciation, motivation as well, but sometimes it can bring lots of players and in front of the home crowd after the issues of crowd trouble previously. But much as it's a good thing, personally, I would want a scenario where money is pumped in the game, get to have more incoming. That's more sustainable. Like I said earlier on, money plays a huge factor in the game as a whole, not necessarily one particular game. And in any case, what I know about players, sometimes, when you put much money, the next thing, in the next round, they'll be thinking, okay, there should be more money. So work out the pay packages before the start of the tournament. President and whoever wants to motivate the players, let it be known prior to the tournament as you go on, this to be able to get and so on and so forth. But then if they do very well, like the Kenyans have done, let the appreciation come after a match, not just before a game. You begin saying, oh, if you win this particular game. But in the case of them, they are still going to get through the next stage, are going to be in terms of the way they have performed. So are they going to be dangling bigger and bigger carrots as they go on in the tournament? And if they come up against quality opposition, the money really might not. It's a motivating factor here. Money is needed, but personally, I would not urge anyone to be putting carrots before the game. Work out a comprehensive reward package which progresses as the tournament goes on. And then, most importantly, to be able to meet. Because we've heard of these promises. Not too long ago, I had heard of how the Nigerian women national team that take up the well at the Women Africa Cup of Nations being promised, I think, 3-bedroom flats and $100,000 each and so on. And there's a comment that came that when politicians make these promises, they rarely fulfill. So at the end of the day, again, after the game, if they do win the Kenyans, they should be able to receive that money almost immediately. Because if it doesn't come, then they will be demotivated. And at the end of the day, fingers can be pointed at whoever is dangling carrots and not delivering them at the end of the day.
My interview with Musonda Chibolo, sports analyst. We also got the views of Wezi Mazunda, sports analyst.
It's a good initiative by the Kenyan president to reward his national team with financial rewards if they win their game. I think that's the way to go. This just tells you how much government are realizing. So in this case, it's Kenya. So they realize the importance of how economically viable football is to a nation's economy. So now in this case, Kenya is one of the hosts of the African Nations Championship tournament. And I'm sure already they're seeing the benefits. People are going to the stadium, people's businesses are being boosted as a result of hosting this event. Money is coming in. And then who do you have to take very good care of? Obviously, the people who are playing the football for you, the players themselves, who are in the front line, the ones who are fighting for the honor of the nation on the football pitch. And these people should be taken care of very, very well so that you can get the biggest reward that you want, which is a financial prize money of $3.5 million. That's a lot of money and good money for football. So I think Africa, let's emulate. This is the way to go. Let's motivate our male players. Let's motivate our women players, our men players, our national teams. Let's motivate them. That is the way to go. They should lack for nothing. They should have all the luxuries that they need. They should fight for the nation. When you fight for the nation, you have that pride. Gone are the days when you say, you're fighting for pride and they're not giving you anything and they're frustrating you. I mean, imagine this player. We are playing against a player who hasn't been paid their allowances. They're just busy being told stories. Sometimes, let's be honest, these players tell them we don't have money to give you. But when the gesture is coming from a person like a president, head of state, it means a lot. And you fight better. It's motivating. Financial rewards are very important for these players. These are family people. You take care of a family. So when your family is happy at home, you're happy as well. You are working. When you are working, you need to be rewarded and you need to be motivated and to be focused to have a good cause. At the end of the day, this is a competition. And in a competition, what do you want to do? You are fighting to win that title. You want to be number one. You want the top prize money. So you must invest. So this is what the Kenyan government has seen. They want to invest in their players to ensure that they give them the good rewards. And it's a very good move. I salute the Kenyan president, the Kenyan government. And I believe Africa, we can motivate. This is very good for Africa. Let's do the same. Let's all motivate our players. If we find our resources, this is one way of boosting the country's economy. Sports as well. So it's a very good move. And motivation, never-ending motivation. Let it continue. It shouldn't just start and end with the hosting country. I think even when Kenya wins this event, the next event that they go to, obviously they'll be vying to play in the Africa Cup of Nations. The same should be done equally to other countries that should motivate their teams from doing the same. So 3 things to motivate players. Make sure the football in a country have the best infrastructure. Ensure that your players are well motivated and ensure that you bring in sponsors for football so that there's never-ending flow of finances in the game of football. Thank you very much.
The views of Wezi Mazunda on our topic today. We were looking at the promise that has been done by the Kenyan President William Ruto, who has promised every Kenyan football player a cool 20,000 United States dollars if they beat Zambia in tomorrow's CHAN game. We were asking, is money a big motivation factor in football games? We are Demsonda Chibulo, soccer analyst, and Wezi Mazunda, sports analyst for Channel Africa Sports. Namchana from Zambia.
No matter where you are, Channel Africa is always with you.
15:03 Central African Time. We've officially entered the second out of 3 hours of Africa at Play. And in the first hour, we got to speak to the MTN 8 legends that are heading to Orlando Stadium, Escotini, a big match between the Buccaneers and Masanda Wana. This is the first leg, a semi-final taking place. There is going to be a second leg that will be now hosted by Mamelodi Sundowns, who will be playing against the same team, Orlando Pirates. And later on, it will be Sekhukhune United up against Stellenbosch FC. That match kicking off at 1800 Central African Time. Both matches are live on SABC Plus and SABC 1. You can also access them on your favorite SABC radio stations in your language of choice. We've got the voice notes on our topic of the day. Let's start with Nande Jobotwana.
Hi there. Good day to the viewers of Africa at Play. Nande Chobotwana here. Does money play a big factor in games? Of course it does. Of course it does. Of course it does. I give you a situation now. We've got Banyana. If those ladies were to get paid, what they were worth, they would be coming with trophies. Also, this is something we've seen also in players who play in Europe. If you look at previous players such as Abo Eto, the monies that they make, and then they can come back and improve the impoverished countries. We've seen Abu Sadomane, with their paychecks, what they do. So you're obviously going to give it your all. So the money incentive is a very, 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 very big thing, and it should contribute a lot. Federations, government should be paying their players for every game actually that they win. We've seen now with the Club World Cup what it means to other players and what it actually means for the club and for the country. So yeah, I think more money actually should be put. That's why you've got a match fee actually in sport. That's why there's a match fee. So you want to be part of the players. So I think the Kenyan government is doing a good initiative. And also, we don't know Kenya that much in football. So this is a chance right now. They've got a great coach in Benny McCarthy. So them putting money into the players and into the team is actually a great incentive, and we've actually seen the results of such a cause. So yes, it's a big deal, and it should continue, especially in teams in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you to Nande Jobatwana sharing interesting thoughts about our topic of the day. Let's take one more voice note from Apiwe Ngwenya.
Hi, Africa Play. This is Apiwe Ngwenya. I really do think that financial motivation does count for players, especially those that come from smaller nations. So for a Kenyan player playing in a competition like Chan, which is focused at local African-based players to showcase their talent for the national team, where they ordinarily wouldn't get the chance, I think it's a big thing, especially because, for instance, smaller countries in terms of football, like Kenya, etc., won't always get the chance to play in a World Cup or the AFCON. So the financial reward is big and it's motivating, especially because they might not be making a lot of money for national appearances as well as playing for their clubs. So the additional $20,000 does really go a big way for just not for them, but also in terms of national pride. Every country wants to see, every citizen wants to see their country doing well on an international stage. So it's unlike rewarding the likes of England, Portugal, Spain, etc. That $20,000, they might not be satisfied with it because they do earn significantly more. They are motivated by their country's reputation. So for other countries, like your big football nations, it's your nation's pride, so your country's motivation. Playing it, if you're a player of like Brazil, etc., your country's pride is on the line. So that's your biggest motivation. So for the smaller countries, yes, financial motivation all the way.
Financial motivation all the way. Those are the thoughts of Apiwe Ngwenya reflecting to our topic of the day. Let's take another voice note from Yamkela Sifingo.
Good afternoon to you, Neto, and a good afternoon to the listeners of Africa at Play. This is Yamkela Sifingo. Well, I think money as an incentive does play a very huge role in terms of motivating the players, especially in tournaments of this nature. And we've seen the performance that Kenya has displayed. They managed to beat Morocco, they managed to draw with Angola, and they managed to beat Democratic Republic of Congo. So it just shows in their performance that added to their motivation are the incentives, So I think it's a good thing, especially when you see that there is a possibility to try and motivate your players in terms of monetary terms or financially, but also it doesn't have to be the only thing that makes them motivated to be able to win the game, There's a whole lot of factoring issues where motivation is concerned. And I think it is a growing trend within the sports. I remember in the Olympics recently, in Nigeria had promised to give incentives to athletes who came back with gold, silver, and bronze medal Also, South Africa did try and motivate their athletes going to those Olympics, putting up huge amounts of money for one who comes back with the medal, and also the United States. So I think generally within the sports, it's something that has picked up to become a trend, you know.
Thank you to Yamkela Sfingo and all our listeners that have shared their thoughts on our topic of the day.
From football fields to finish lines,
Eliud Kipchoge storms into the history books.
Neto Chemane brings you sports on Africa at Play.
15:10 Central African Time. Football legends Voyomere, former Platinum Stars and Mamelodi Sundowns player, as well as Lakile Khwati, former Orlando Pirates captain, have just left the building, heading to Escotini in Orlando Stadium, where Orlando Pirates is up against Mamelodi Sundowns for the MTN 8 first leg semi-final. Let's now cross to the venue and speak to a journalist who is already there, a sports journalist from News 24, Njabulo Ngidi, who is witnessing action as we speak. Njabulo, good afternoon and welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for joining us. I can tell with the ambience in the background that it is happening. The MTN 8 first leg semi-final is on. What are you witnessing so far? How's the ambience?
It's been a very open affair because there's a lot at stake for both teams. I think Pirates is the defending champions and having not started with the best of starts, in losing back-to-back, and Sundowns who really haven't been good in knockout competitions. You've seen that in the number of finals they've lost and how their dominance in the league does not necessarily translate to cup success. But I think also the strong thing is the rivalry between these two teams that has just become so intense, making this one of the biggest games in the country. So it's a game that's going to be very exciting and also probably filled with goals because of the attack of these two teams.
Your thoughts on the possible number of goals to be scored? We've witnessed about 16 goals so far in the quarterfinals before the semi-finals kick off, and it's likely to be more goals, especially with MTN 8 giving away goodies to the disadvantaged areas in terms of the dream bags and all sort of essentials to make certain that the game of football is played in those disadvantaged areas. Njabulo?
Yes. Hello?
Yes, can you hear me? I was asking about possible number of goals to be scored today, considering that these are the two giants in South African football. What do you think is likely to happen in as far as goals are concerned? Yeah, with the ambience at the Orlando Stadium, it looks like Njabulo Ngidi, News 24 sports journalist, is battling to hear me. Nonetheless, he did indicate that it is a big occasion between the two giants, outlining that Mamelodi Sundowns have not been doing so well in camp competitions lately, regardless of them being the conquerors of the league in South Africa. Orlando Pirates, we know it's out there on the table, three-time winners of the MTN 8 Cup, which means they've been given the last trophy after winning it for the third consecutive time. It will be interesting to see if they can start on a clean slate and win it for the fourth time, which will count as the first time, building up to the third possible times in the upcoming 2 seasons. Interesting times indeed. You can catch this match live on SABC Plus. You just have to download the app on your mobile downloader and be able to witness this action. You can also tune into SABC 1 or your favorite SABC radio station in your language of choice. 15:14 Central African Time. Let's now head to West Africa in Nigeria for the latest in Nigerian sport with Tony Obani.
The dust had barely settled in Zanzibar when the football world began to grasp the magnitude of what had just happened. Sudan, a side often regarded as outsiders on the continental stage, had dismantled Nigeria's locally based Super Eagles 4-0, knocking them out of CHAN 2024 with a game to spare. In one night, they turned the script upside down, leaving pundits searching for explanations and fans replaying the goals in disbelief. It wasn't just the scoreline, it was the manner, disciplined defending, late-out finishing, and a collective unity that rendered Nigeria's pedigree meaningless. Abdurrauf Yagou's brace, combined with a Leonard Ngenge own goal and Walid Kadi's emphatic penalty, told his story on paper. But the real tale was one of precision, patience, and an underdog refusing to be intimidated. This seismic result will go down as one of the competition's biggest shocks, but it is far from the only one. Since its inception in 2009, the African Nations Championship CHAN has specialized in rewriting football's pecking order. With squads made up of exclusively of players active in the domestic leagues, the tournament offers a perfect breeding ground for surprise results and unforgettable moments. From final routes to group stage ambushes, the underdogs have risen time and again. And just as Sudan's latest victory has carved its place in CHAN folklore, there are 5 of the most remarkable upsets in the tournament history. And of course, we go back to 2018 final when Morocco also, beat Nigeria 4-0. That's in 2018 final. The same Morocco also produced another scintillating performance in the 2020 semi-final against Cameroon, where they walloped the Cameroonians 4-0. Indeed, you just say that it's not the first time, that they are producing a 4-0 performance. Senegal also, handed DR Congo 3-0 in 2022. That is during the group stages. And then Sudan lost 0-3 to Madagascar in 2022 group stage. And then finally, that's the 4-0 Sudan handed to Nigeria in the 2024 group stage. And then came Zanzibar, August 2024. Sudan, coached by Ghanaian tactician Kwesi Appiah, produced a performance that will live in CHAN history. From the moment Ngenge's unfortunate own goal broke the deadlock, the Falcons of Jedan grew in confidence. They walloped the Nigerian team to set tongues wagging on the suitability of coach Eric Chell as coach of the men's Super Eagles, who are equally lagging behind in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers that begins next month. He has been a talking point in Nigeria, and of course almost everybody is mourning the defeat and of course asking questions for Eric Chell. He has been dominant in the discussions out here in Nigeria. Both coach Eric Chell and CHAN Eagles have come under heavy fire after they crashed out of the 2024 CHAN following that 4-0 thrashing by Sudan. The coach has to share in the blame because he's in charge of the team. Blasted former Super Eagles defender Ifeanyi Udeze. The team were a disgrace. The players have shown they are not good enough to be called up by the Super Eagles. They failed to take the opportunity they got through the CHAN. Former MPFL star Victor Ezeji was equally critical of the team. They were very, very poor, he lamented. They have kept disappointing us. Victor Ezeji speaks.
These boys, but still, they still make us look stupid because at the end of the day, when you want to fight why the homeland is not included into the senior national team, the next new tell is they couldn't even do well in CHAN. But we'll keep advocating because we know there is no way you won't see at least one player from the home front. But still, these boys, they keep disappointing on a daily basis. Well, for me, I think mentally they were not strong from what I saw in the team. They were not strong mentally to prosecute these games. But overall, I think it was a very, very poor performance from the team. Very, very poor one.
Journalist Eze Chukwu said Eric Chell ought not to have led the team to CHAN. The coaches who qualified the team for the tournament ought to have been allowed to take full charge of the team. He said the bigger worry now is how this scandalous outing will impact on our World Cup qualifiers next month with Eric Chell still in charge of the Super Eagles. Former Super Eagles player Benedict Akwebu blamed the Nigerian League for the poor results, saying that the Nigerian League is not good enough. Benedict Akwebu speaks.
They're moving forward, not moving backwards. And also the players, they should take their chance. We need to go back to drawing boards and know exactly why this is all happened. This is the problem we always have. We always overlook things. When things are not right, you do the evaluation, you go back, you go and figure out why things are not going according to plan. We must have a structure. We must have a tradition, we must have the way we do our things, how we run our things, so that even if things doesn't go well, we know exactly, we pinpoint the places that things went wrong. You understand? So we have to change our mentality entirely.
Another former Super Eagles player, Brown Ideye, however, has backed Eric Chell, stating that the country does not have what it takes to compete on the bigger stage. Let's keep lying to ourselves and keep blaming someone else every time we fail. We are not good enough. That's the bitter truth. It's what you have, the coach you work with, period. And we don't have what it takes to compete on the bigger stage. Ideye wrote on his X account. Former Nigeria international Azuike Gweke said he never imagined the Super Eagles B team could suffer a humiliating defeat to Sudan. Egweke, a member of the Super Eagles squad that won the 2013 AFCON under late Stephen Keshi, blamed it on the poor state of the Nigeria Premier Football League, NPFL. I am very disappointed, Egweke, who was part of the Super Eagles B team that won bronze in the debut at the 2014 edition of CHAN, said, I don't believe we can lose 4-0 to Sudan, and this shows our league is down and the NFF should do something about it. Egweke also stated that a poor performance of the Super Eagles B team makes it difficult for Chelsea to consider them for future assignments. How can you now convince the coach to call home-based players to the men's Super Eagles team with this kind of performance? After 2 matches, the Super Eagles B are bottom with no points. Meanwhile, they will take on Congo in their final group match on August 19th. The Congolese, third in the group on 2 points, need to win to stand a chance of advancing to the quarterfinals. Sudan on 4 points top the group, while Senegal also on 4 points are second. Head coach Eric Chell has described his side's 4-0 loss to Sudan as the worst match he has overseen in his coaching career. This is the worst game I've overseen, Eric Chell remarked after the nightmarish encounter. We have lost all ambition. The CHAN is over for us. We have a third match to play for our honor and respect, but I'm disappointed by this match. It is the worst game I've overseen from the dugout as a coach. If we play this way against Congo, it wouldn't be just 4. We have to clear our minds and mentally get ready for Congo. The coach pointed to the loss of key domestic players, nearly 8, who have moved abroad as a turning point. Though some important players left our preparations camp, these were the best players in our league. We can't play a game like that and lose in the manner we did. We need to be more focused. The mistakes against Sudan were costly. The players focused in the first 20 minutes. Our goal was ruled out, and afterwards, we made a lot of mistakes. 4 mistakes, 4 goals. Our training session before the game went well. We analyzed Sudan's team. We prepared well, but we are not ready for as many mistakes. Sudan now are top of the table showdown with Senegal, while Nigeria seek redemption in their last match. For one team, it's about making a statement in the knockout stage. For the other, it's about salvaging pride. Coach Eric Chell speaks.
The game starts, and during 20 minutes, the players are focused. We score a goal, and after that, we did a lot of mistakes, and we give up the game in second half. 4 goals, 4 mistakes for me, and I think this is the analysis, but it's hard, it's tough because it's our fault. I think the reality when we do this group to come for the CHAN, this is not the same group actually. Maybe between 5 and 8 players leave the camp or never come for this camp. They leave to go to another league. So the team was not like we imagine. So, but the reality for me, it was the best player in the league. So we can't play some game like that and lose because we did a lot of mistakes during these 2 games. First goal against Senegal, this is the mistake. 4 goals now, the two first goal mistake, and after that the 2 other goal because this is the mistake about the placement. So difficult at this level of the competition. We need to be more focused.
Ghanaian coach of Sudan, Kwesi Appiah, said, I wasn't expecting the scoreline, but I knew if we play our best, we could beat Nigeria. Despite the emphatic scoreline, Appiah was gracious towards his opposite number, Eric Chell. I think the home-based Super Eagles aren't that bad. On the whole, tactically, they played well. The coach only needs to do some polishing with the attack. The first game against Senegal wasn't that bad. In the second game, they had scenes of possession, but our approach helped us. Coach Kwesi Appiah speaks.
The Nigeria team was not that bad. The only thing that I saw about them was the attack was a bit slow and their tactical play outcomes needs improvement. But on the whole, tactically, they were playing well. And I think in that aspect, to be the coach who has to sort it out. You know, I mean, there's no way anyone can think that Nigeria does not do well or not performing well. I think both games, they've done their best. If you look at the Senegal game, it wasn't that bad. And then even this particular game, sometimes they had some protections, but we made sure some of the areas we counter-attack them, and then that's where we tried and got some goals.
Former Super Eagles B coach Salisu Yusuf has said that Nigeria's embarrassing performance at the ongoing 8th African Nations Championship CHAN, being co-hosted by Tanzania, Kenya and Uganda, is not a true reflection of the quality of the Nigeria Premier Football League, MPFL. The home-based Super Eagles have lost their first two Group D matches, 0-1 to title holder Senegal on match day 1 and 0-4 to Sudan on Tuesday night. The results mean Nigeria have made a painful early exit from the competition. Yusuf, currently head coach of Cotton FC in the Republic of Benin, guided the home-based Super Eagles to a silver medal in the 5th edition of the tournament in Morocco in 2018. He insists it would be wrong to judge the MPFL based on the team's shambolic display in Zanzibar. No, not at all. The Eagles' performance in the CHAN in Tanzania shouldn't be seen as a reflection of the quality of the MPFL. Yusuf said, the MPFL is a top league, one of the best in Africa. That the Super Eagles didn't do well in the CHAN tournament should not be used to rubbish the Nigeria Premier Football League. The 63-year-old tactician stressed that rather than criticize the players or the league, Nigerians should question the team's organization and preparation for the tournament. A team is as good as its organization, he said, hinting at the importance of coaching input. Was the team well set up or organized? These are the questions that should be asked and answered. Nigeria will face Congo on Tuesday, 19th August, a dead rubber game for the Super Eagles B before returning home. And enough of the Super Eagles B, and let's focus on basketball to tell you that Nigeria's senior men's basketball team, the Tigers, began their quest for a second Afro basketball title with a win against Mozambique in Luanda, Angola. The Group B encounter saw the Nigerian side propelled by NBA's George Okoye, taking the first quarter with 4 points at 18-14, but dropping the second quarter at 20-23 to, however, lead by 1 point, 38-37 at halftime. The former African champions never looked back after the break, taking the Mozambicans on a roller coaster in the third and fourth quarters. The Abdurrahman Mohamed two-third side took the third and fourth quarters at 17-19 and 22-13 respectively, to wrap up the game at 77-59 inside the Pavihao Motsos de Luando Sports Hall. Game leaders for both teams were Caleb Agada for Nigeria and Sitraka Rahmanatonena for Mozambique. While Agada amassed 22 points, Rahmanatonena scored 20 points to end with efficiency rate of 25 and 22% respectively. The Tigers' other top scorers are co-captain Stan Okoye and Ike Nwamu, who garnered 13 and 12 points respectively. They now top Group B with 2 points, while Mozambique follow with 1 point. Nigeria's next game is against defending champions Tunisia. The Tigers coach Mohamed Abdurrahman explained on the tactics they use to subdue Mozambique. Coach Mohamed Abdurrahman speaks.
It's sloppy in the first two quarters. We were giving up too many points on transition. It's actually their strength. Every time they run, they hurt us. Coming back into the third quarter, we make the adjustment necessary. And we felt every time we slow them down to play a half-court offense, we have a better chance to force them to make a lot of mistakes, and that's what we did. So we just took care of their transition offense, and then along the line, we also make sure they don't get the second chance, second attempt at their basket.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the National Sports Commission, NSC, Shehu Diku, has congratulated the Tigers following their impressive start at the 2025 men's basketball, Afro basketball. While watching the match, I remember their promise to deliver the trophy when I visited their camp before you left, Diko said. In this match, I saw the commitment, meaning that you have truly matched words with action. With the dedication and zeal you displayed in this game, it is evident that you are truly committed to bringing back the trophy. Super Falcons goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie has revealed her excitement at being nominated for the 2025 Ballon d'Or Yassin Trophy, placing her among the best goalkeepers in women's football. The 24-year-old was instrumental as the Falcons went unbeaten and powered to a 10th Women's Africa Cup of Nations title after earning a comeback 3-2 victory over a tournament host Morocco in the final last month. She was also pivotal as her former club Paris FC claimed the Coupe de France Féminine last season before securing a summer move to Women's Super League outfit Brighton and Hove Albion. Her outstanding displays have not gone unnoticed as France Football Magazine, organizers of the annual Golden Ball Awards, listed the Brighton shortstopper alongside Spain's Kata Cole and Catherine Berger of Germany, Hannah Hampton of England, and Daphne van der Domsla of the Netherlands for the Women's Goalkeeper of the Year gong. The nomination saw her become the first female African footballer to be shortlisted for the Yassin Trophy. In a video posted on official Super Falcons S account on social media, Nnadozie expressed her delight. This nomination means a lot to me. It's a thing of joy for me and my family. It shows that all the hard work, all the consistency, all the prayers is really been working. Chiamaka Nnadozie speaks.
It means a lot to me. It's a thing of joy for me and my family. It shows that all the hard work, all the consistency, all the prayers, it's been working, and because I'm so happy about it. I'm so happy about it. For me, it's like a morale booster. Keep going, Chiamaka. Whatever you're doing, the world is watching, never stop. Yeah, it was like a morale booster for me. Yeah, of course, it shows that we have a lot of good goalkeepers in Africa. And I want to use this opportunity to encourage every one of us, all the goalkeepers from Africa, to keep working hard, keep doing what you're doing, and I believe one day it can be a starting point.
And before we go, Nigeria's under-17 boys Golden Eagles have continued intensive preparations for next month's WAFU under-17 boys tournament, with the technical crew led by Coach Manu Garba working assiduously to produce a team capable of doing the country proud. The five-time world champions were ruthless in a 5-0 demolition of Wilson FC in a friendly game played at the FIFA Goal Project MK Abiola National Stadium here in Abuja. The Eagles were 2 goals better going into the break, and the team got more clinical in the second half, scoring 3 more goals to end the game 5-0. Wilson FC is from Opuruza Island, Warri Southwest, Delta State. It was the 4th friendly game by the Eagles, who are in camp preparing for the WAFU under-17 boys tournament taking place next month. In earlier games, they had beaten the Spura Football Academy of Abuja 4-0, pipped Gasa of Ilori by a lone goal, and came from behind to defeat Bandes Football Academy of KB 3-2. And that's the size of sports roundup in Nigeria. For Channel Africa Sports, Tony Ubane reporting.
15:33 Central African Time. Thank you to our correspondent based in West Africa in Lagos, Nigeria, Tony Bane, for filling us up with the latest in Nigerian sport. If you are a rugby fan, you will be excited to know that the World Rugby Championship action continues. The 4-time World Rugby champions, South Africa, also known as Amapokopoko or the Springboks, will be taking on the Wallabies of Australia, and that match is taking place at 17:10 Central African Time. You can listen to this action on your favorite SABC radio station. And then at 23:10 Central African Time, it will be Argentina up against the All Blacks, New Zealand, and it is exciting action of World Rugby, the best in the game of the sport. In basketball, you will remember that the D Tigresses of Nigeria won their 5th consecutive title at the recently concluded AfroBasket Women's Tournament that took place in Cote d'Ivoire in West Africa. and it's now the men's edition of AfroBasket that is taking place at the same country, and Senegal up against Mali, and that match is in the first quarter with 2 points each. We will also witness at 1700 Central African time Guinea up against Libya, and then followed at 1830 by Egypt from North Africa against Uganda from East Africa. Then there's also action between Angola and South Sudan. So it is exciting action of the ongoing AfroBasket tournament. In football at 1900 Central African time, Burkina Faso will be up against Madagascar at the ongoing African Nations Championship CHAN tournament that is taking place in East Africa under the Pamoja beat by the three East African countries, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Central Africa will take on the co-hosting nation, Taifa Stars of Tanzania, also at 7 p.m. Central African time. Then in the English Premier League, it is a match between Aston Villa and Newcastle, and that match kicked off at 13:30 Central African time, and it's now 0-0. Brighton and Hove Albion will take on Fulham at 4 p.m. Central African time. Sunderland will line up against West Ham United also at the same time, and then Tottenham Hotspurs will take on Burnley at 4 p.m. Central African time. At 18:30 it will be Wolverhampton Wanderers, also known as Wolves, against the Citizens Manchester City, and we will continue to update on different matches. In the France League 1 at 5 p.m. it will be Lens up against Lyon at 5 p.m. and then at 1900 Monaco up against Le Havre, then Nice up against Toulouse at 21:05, and we will update you on different matches that will be taking place in various parts of the world, including the Spanish La Liga at 19:30 Mallorca up against Barcelona, and Alaves up against Levante, and then Valencia up against Real Sociedad. This is Africa at Play as Delil Shashaya. Mamelodi Sundowns have just scored a goal in at Orlando Stadium up against Orlando Pirates. Let's take you to the live action.
Motorarino wasithatha 2024-2025 bona ka motsamo iketlileng ba romela ya romega a thula ka tlhogo mrembola ya thulega ya thitshwa ke letloa ya bonna gore wona menona phezulu Mamelodi Sundowns and not Orlando Pirates toyentsho mahlabe thoma ka lengole pafatsi Sipho.
It is just exciting how football goes. Orlando Pirates have been pressing Mamelodi Sundowns looking for that opener of the first leg of the MTN 8 semi-finals, but the opposite happened. As soon as Mamelodi Sundowns got the passes together, they were able to create that beautiful goal, and they are now leading the Buccaneers in their own backyard by 1-0. Exciting indeed. 37 minutes of football has been played, and that's commentary courtesy of SABC Sport. Watile Jacobs doing commentary in his native language, Setswana, which is one of the official 11 languages spoken in South Africa. He's also known as OJ. Exciting indeed. Letabo Kidijang, born and raised in Johannesburg and attended university in the United States of America for 2 years before signing for Leganes under-23 in Spain back in 2021 for a year. Bounced back around some amateur teams in the US for a while, then went on to trial for FC Dallas Reserves, then signed for a second division team in Bosnia called FK Željeznica, and now he recently signed with a Swaziland Premier League side, Amawele FC. What an exciting journey in football. Let's now welcome him to Africa at Play. Letabo, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. It is an exciting journey indeed. Talk to us about your days in Johannesburg before you moved to the US. What did you get up to?
Primarily it was school. You know, my parents didn't want to hear anything other than school. And yeah, from school, joined some school teams. I think I started in grade 3. Played for the school team under 9, and then age 11, I went to a local team out here in Joburg in Midrand where I stay. And yeah, from there, played there until I went to high school. After high school, went to the University of Johannesburg, played in that academy for a year, went to Tuks for a couple of months before moving to America.
Exciting indeed. We are talking to Lethabo Gedijang, who has had an exciting journey of football, born and brought up in Johannesburg and later went to the United States of America. What created opportunities for you, Lethabo, to end up in the US? Was it something that was planned, or you just came across a good opportunity to make it to the US? Lethabo? It looks like we're battling with a network from this video conversation with our guest Lethabo Gedijang, but nevertheless we will continue to endeavor establishing a better line with our guest, who has had an exciting journey of football in the US. He attended the university there for 2 years before signing for Leganes under 23 in Spain, and that was back in 2021 for a year, then bounced back for some amateur teams in the US for a while, then went on to trial for FC Dallas Reserves, then signed for a second division team in Bosnia, a team called FK Zelznica, and now he recently joined the Swaziland Premier League side, Amawele FC. We've just gotten back Lethabo back on the line. Lethabo, welcome back to Africa at Play. Apologies about the bad connection.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah, we're still battling with that line from Lethabo, who has recently signed a contract with a Swaziland Premier League side, Amawele FC. And this is an exciting story because at the end of it all, he traveled the world and he is now back on the African soil at a neighboring country called Eswatini. We take a short break. We will endeavor to connect a better line with our guest. This is Africa at Play. Astelel Siashai.
She builds, she leads, she rises. This August, join Channel Africa in celebrating the women who shape our communities, shift narratives, and carve out a future on their own terms.
These women together ought to be able to turn it right again.
From Cape Town to Kigali, Lagos to Lusaka, African women are rewriting the script. Here's to courage, creativity, and unstoppable progress. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
No matter where you are, Channel Africa is always with you.
She builds, she leads, she rises. This August, join Channel Africa in celebrating the women who shape our communities, shift narratives, and carve out a future on their own terms.
These women together ought to be able to turn it right again.
From Cape Town to Kigali, Lagos to Lusaka, African women are rewriting the script. Here's to courage, creativity, and unstoppable progress. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
15:43 Central African Time. If you have just tuned in, a warm welcome to Africa at Play. Action continues in the MTN 8 first leg semi-finals, a match between the two giants in South African football. Orlando Pirates trailing by a goal to nil against Mamelodi Sundowns. 43 minutes of football has been played, and this match will be going on a halftime break in just a few minutes. We've got Lethabo Gedijang back on the line, a gentleman who is very happy to have signed a contract with the Swaziland Premier League side, Amawele FC. Lethabo, welcome back to Africa at Play.
Thank you. Hey, we're having some network issues.
Yeah, but no network issues formed against us shall prosper. At least the line is much clearer now. Thank you so much for joining us. I was saying your opportunity to go to the US, how did it come about?
So I had a cousin who was supposed to, she tried to go that route, so she put me in touch, and facilitated everything for me.
Wow, you're a fortunate one, having cousins that care that much, that care deeply. Good indeed. And what did you enjoy so much being in the US?
Just the overall experience, just being outside the country, being by myself, independence. I really enjoy. I felt like I grew a lot. You grow up a lot.
Did you miss home at any point?
Every day.
What did you miss? What's your favorite home dish?
Anything my mom cooks, really. Ever since I've been back, I just asked her, please, as long as you're cooking, I'm happy.
Wow, as long as you're cooking, I'm in. And talk to us about playing football in the US. It's not a country that is known so much to have a rich history when it comes to the game of football. When you talk baseball and basketball, it's a different story. They come out tops, but football, not so much. Yet, the game is still played. And because of the resources they have, you still see quality in their football.
Yeah, especially recently, it's growing more. But I'd say it really depends on the state that you're in. The different provinces have more prominent sports. So I was around the Texas and the Oklahoma area. So it was touch and go. So, but it did grow up. It did grow a little bit more because, there's FC Dallas close by. There's a bunch of second division teams in the state of Oklahoma as well.
You also got to play in Spain. How was Spain versus the US?
It was night and day. I mean, in Spain, they live and breathe football, everything around it, from the training to, the preparations for games, everything like that. Is even in the trains, in the streets, they just live and breathe football. It's all they speak.
And you also made it to a second division team in Bosnia called FK Zeljesnica. Hey, what a name to say. But yeah, this time around I got it right. How was your experience in Bosnia?
Bosnia was, it had its ups and downs, mostly because of the language. They speak Serbian, so it was really hard for me to learn Serbian a bit, in terms of Spain, Spanish is easier to learn, I think, than Serbian. But overall, I think I was also surrounded by, good teammates. I had a supportive club, so it made my adaptation a little bit easier.
If you have just joined us, we're talking to our exciting athlete who's had an exciting journey in football, who is currently back in Africa with the neighboring country Eswatini for the Premier League side, signature for Amawele FC. How did you get to know about Amawele FC? How did this deal come about?
It really just came out of nowhere. So when I came back, a bunch of my guys that I know play a lot of social football, and in those circles, I managed to get in touch with the owner of the team. And at first, I didn't know he was the owner, but, just on having a good relationship and him enjoying how I play football, he brought the opportunity to me and said, hey, my team just got promoted. When the time comes, if you're still looking for an opportunity, I have one for you.
And have you gotten an opportunity to meet your fellow teammates and train with the team?
Yes, sir. Just last week, I was in Eswatini. I went to go shake everybody's hands down there.
Exciting indeed. How was the reception? Because when teams sign players, there could be best of both. Sometimes you get those that welcome you with warm hands, but you also get those that are not so impressed, especially the ones that you will be competing for the position with.
Yeah, I mean, I think first things first, you always got to earn people's respect and their trust. So we did have a preseason game down there. So once they also saw what I was able to bring, like on the field, outside of the profile that I have, and, then it became easier for everyone to just be more receptive.
Exciting indeed. When is your first competitive match?
September 1st. They have the Trade Fair Cup. That starts there, the curtain raiser for the season.
Is it? And what have you loved so far about being in Eswatini, especially having traveled to elite countries like your Spain and the US, and here you are back on the African soil? They say there's no place like home, at least you are still in Southern Africa.
Yeah, I like that because I'd never been there. I never knew much about Eswatini as well, but it's not so different from South Africa, so there was not really much of a culture shock besides the language, because Nake Motswana, and even my Zulu, it's on the fence sometimes. So
yeah, but worry not, because you are in Eswatini, you'll get to speak Siswati, and then when you come to South Africa, you just convert the T's to the Z or the S, depending. Then your Zulu will have improved, because there's not much of a difference between the two languages, except for certain areas where specifically the Swatis would say things a certain different way, like abomame instead of abomama, you know? So yeah, please do stay on the line. We take a short break. We'll wrap up our conversation with Lethabo Gedijang, who has just signed for Eswatini Premier League side.
AUSISA, the Association of Water and Sanitation Institution of South Africa, is a platform uniting Africa's water professionals. This November, Africa leads the conversation on water and sanitation. Join global and African leaders at the AUSISA Africa and Global South Dialogue 2025 from the 9th till the 12th of November at the Emperor's Palace, Johannesburg. From policy innovation, this is where action meets collaboration for a water-secure future. Register today at ausisa-watersan-dialogue.org or follow at AUSISA on social media. AUSISA, working together for sustainable water and sanitation security in Africa.
Africa at Play with Neto and Neto Chemane.
15:51 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a warm welcome to Africa at Play. We are live on DSTV Audio Bouquet Channel 802 or OpenView 628 if you are in South Africa. Otherwise, you can reach us from anywhere you are on channelafrica.co.za. Also available at your fingertips on SABC Plus. We are wrapping up our conversation with our African athlete of the day, Lethabo Gedijang, who has played football in various parts of the world, from South Africa growing up and in the United States of America. He's been in areas like Texas and also played his football in Spain and Bosnia. Is now back on the African soil with the neighboring country Eswatini playing for Amawele FC. Lethabo, let's talk about the position you play. What position do you play in, or are you one of those blessed players who are diverse, who can play in almost every position?
Whatever gets me in the starting lineup. But I play primarily as a midfielder.
What do you like so much about playing in the middle of the park?
Being on the ball, being involved in most of the actions, offensive, defensive. Yeah.
What will a good debut season be come the end of the season in Eswatini under the umbrella of Amawele FC?
One, I'd say help the team stay in the top flight, as it's the first season in the Premier League. And two, on an individual level, just do enough to get enough attention on me for the next step in my career.
Lethabo Gedijang is a footballer who got to play in South Africa, in Bosnia, Spain, the US, and now back in Africa, playing in Eswatini for Amawele FC, who are in their debut season playing in the Elite League in Eswatini. Lethabo, thank you so much for talking to us on Africa at Play. Before I let you go, your special message to your mother, who cooks a storm all the time, but also to the rest of the women on the African continent and globally as we continue to celebrate Women's Month.
Of course, happy Women's Month to all the beautiful women out there. A very special happy Women's Month to my mom, who's been super supportive of me. My sister as well, who we're very close to as well. So all the women in my family, you know, all the women that I know, friends, all of that. Just keep being you guys. You guys make the world a special place.
That's how we wrap up our conversation with Lethabo Gedijang, and we wish him nothing but the best in his debut season for Amawele FC, who are also experiencing a debut season in the Elite League of Football in Eswatini. Lethabo, all the best. Play your heart out, and remember that you can always do better. So on a bad day, do not despair. There's always a next time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
15:54 Central African Time. This is Africa at Play. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome. Action continues in the MTN 8 first leg semi-final, a match that is currently on a halftime break, giving the football analysts an opportunity to dissect the first half. Mamelodi Sundowns having a good day on the pitch, leading Orlando Pirates by a goal to nil. But there's still a lot of football coming up. 45 minutes is undoubtedly a lot of time. Anything can happen. You see a team leading, and then come at the end of the match, a different team that was trailing is suddenly winning that match. So it is exciting times indeed. Talking about exciting times, there's action continuing in the African Nations Championship Chan tournament. Burkina Faso, the Stallions, up against Madagascar, and Central African Republic up against the co-hosting nation Tanzania Taifa Stars, and those matches are kicking off at 1900 Central African Time. Then in the English Premier League, it is action between Aston Villa and Newcastle, played to a 0-0 draw. That match kicked off at 13:30 Central African Time. Still coming up is Brighton and Hove Albion up against Fulham United. That match is at 4 p.m. Central African Time. Another match at the same time is Sunderland up against West Ham, together with Tottenham Hotspur up against Burnley. And then at 18:30 it will be time for Wolves and Manchester City to test each other and find out who's going to walk out victors of that match. In the France League 1 action, Lens up against Lyon at 5 p.m. Central African Time. Then Monaco will be up against Le Havre at 1900 Central African Time, with Nice cross-questioning Toulouse at 21:05 Central African Time. There's also action happening in the world of Rugby Championship. South Africa, 4-time World Rugby Champions, will take on Australia in their own backyard at 17:10 Central African Time, while at 23:10 it will be Argentina up against the All Blacks of New Zealand. And we will continue to update you on different sporting codes. It is now 14-18 in favor of Senegal up against Mali in the ongoing men's Afrobasket tournament, currently underway in West Africa in Cote d'Ivoire, also known as Ivory Coast. Guinea will line up against Libya at 5 p.m. Central African Time. Then Egypt will take on Uganda at 18:30 Central African Time. Angola at 8 p.m. up against South Sudan. And in the Europe World Cup qualification, pre-qualification second, it will be Ukraine up against Switzerland at 4 p.m. Central African Time. Then Bulgaria will cross-question Austria at 5 p.m. Central African Time. Hungary up against Romania at 6 p.m. Central African Time. Then Croatia up against Norway at 20:30 Central African Time. 15:57 Central African Time. That's how we wrap up the second hour out of the 3 hours of Africa at Play, as we swiftly moved on to the third and final hour of Africa at Play. Thank you for tuning in. Please do make time to visit our Channel Africa website. Click on programs and search for Africa at Play. At the bottom right screen of Africa at Play, you will be able to listen to those conversations at a time suitable to you. And you can also get in touch with us on our different social media platforms. On Instagram and X is at Channel Africa 1, and on Facebook, the beautiful name of our station, Channel Africa.
No fairy tales, just the facts and the music you love on Channel Africa.
I told you, man. It's King Tick Pandemics.
Chimani pasa peace of mind. She got a man, but he had no mind. The pass love, baby, don't miss the the when if now we can't you see. Baby, Osani see you no silonga we. Baby, Osani panga chipuba Superman. Nini na power monga Superman. I'm gonna protect you monga Superman. Nina olimba monga Superman. Give you what belongs to Caesar, baby, I'm the leader. He was she touch it, deliver. Give you what belongs to Caesar, baby, I'm the leader. Deliver. I call her big baller. My lady's coming to want more. She love the way I put it down, but even more she love my aura. Shake like thunder, beat like drummer. This right here is a la summer. Somebody please call emergency. The way the girl is hurting me, yeah. I like her, she a freak. My wife, she a keeper. No one like her, she a sniper. My type of ghetto diva. I like her, she a freak. My wife, she a keeper. No one like her, she a sniper. My type of ghetto diva. Superman, shawty say you want a Superman. Baby, you know you a superwoman. So you and I could be the super friends. Maybe I'm a lover, maybe I'm a pleaser. Give it to you harder, never will I tease you. Eat it like salad, call that a season. So when I'm in Rome, you should follow the leader. Give me what belongs to Caesar, baby, I'm the leader. You a cheat, I check the lever. Give me what belongs to Caesar, baby, I'm the leader. Superman, nini na power monga Superman. I'm gonna protect you monga Superman. Nina olimba monga Superman.
Africa at Play, beautifully, happily marrying sports and music.
Let's be honest, I know my heart if I be honest. She in control when she feel on it. Me patrol, not hold me down. You like this, I like thing, my love. I love being your love. I'm tryna show you up, you up. She really the A-list girl. She really my favorite girl. I'm loving the way you twirl. You twirl in the Maybach. She really the A-list girl. She really my favorite girl. I'm loving the way you twirl. You twirl. Fresh up and it on me. But you can't do it slowly. Girl, that the wine, would you bring it for me? Put that picture in the shot sleeve. I had a feeling, one of the things. You'll be there, isn't that thing? When you ain't, girl, you make me sing.
Crazy, yes, crazy, crazy. You are me, girl, you're me. Yeah, sweet chocolate I want buy. They say I love it, but to make a man fight. But I get hold up, who better than? Bring a mound, my girl fine like it at a bang. But I the way she boogie down. Give me booty bounce, make a elevator right now. Keep pushing and pressure, give her a girl later. Sharp like saber, my girl so fine. Give me that one. I like the way you twirl.
You twirl in the Maybach. She really the A-list girl. She really my favorite girl. I'm loving the way you twirl. You twirl. Fresh up and it on me. You can't do it slowly. Girl, that the wine, would you bring it for me? Put that picture in the shot sleeve. I had a feeling, one of the things. You'll be there, isn't that thing? When you ain't, girl, you make me sing. Yeah, you're pretty, my girl. Turn up the night, turn up the dance floor. I should ride the motorcycle. You know you got the kick in my drum. Ooh, I go do anything when concern my charges. Say I go do anything we can sign my shawty. Yeah, I wanna go there, take me there. I wanna go there. Where that girl don't take it from me. Oh, but she really the A-list girl. She really my favorite girl. I'm loving the way you twirl.
16:04 Central African Time. It is that kind of music that will get you to dance, even if you believe you can't dance. I believe everyone can. They just don't want to try it out. First of all, we played you Superman featuring Omarion by Your Maps, and this one is a Favorite Girl featuring Rema by Darko. This is Africa at Play. As Delil Siashaya, we've entered into the third and final hour of Africa at Play. We are together until 5 p.m. Central African Time. If you have just joined us, a very warm welcome. We now welcome to Africa at Play the two promoters as we continue to celebrate Women's Month. We will be speaking to Sibongile Matiti of Zibashi Promotions as well as Tanyani Marangeni of Tanya Boxing Promotions, who will jointly promote Smangele Smash Hadebe's next fight, which is against Olami Bosi, Kehinde Solomon, an undefeated Nigerian boxer for the WBC Africa Flyweight title. The fight is scheduled for August the 30th at the Tleb Refersberg Recreation Center in Johannesburg, South Africa. This bout marks the first time a South African female boxer will compete for the WBC Africa Flyweight title. Let's now welcome to Africa at Play Tanyani Marageni. Tanyani, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon, and listeners, and yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. A happy Women's Month.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's talk about promotion in boxing. As a promoter, what precisely do you do?
May I beg your pardon? Can you repeat your question?
Yes, I'm saying let's educate our listeners and talk about you as a promoter. What precisely do you do?
Yes, I'm a promoter for boxing and then for female and male boxing. When you are a promoter, you have to stage the tournament and ensure that you get the sponsors to make sure that you pay all the boxers' passes. And pardon?
Yes, I'm listening, Tanyani.
Yes, as a promoter, you must ensure that you have to stage the tournament, because when you stage the tournament, you are supporting you are assisting the boxers. It's like the boxers, when they box, it's like a job for them, because you have to ensure that you host the tournament so that they can start to work. And then when you host the tournament, you must ensure that you get the sponsors that can assist you to put up the boxing tournament, to ensure that the passes is the money that are received by the boxers as like a salary. That you have to make sure that you prepare, you get the sponsors that is going to sponsor your tournament, and ensure that everything is paid, and then including the belt and the doctors and everything, including the belt and the doctors. You must make sure that you stage the tournaments every time.
Interesting indeed. Boxing is not just about the fighters in the ring on the day. There are a lot of role players behind the scenes, a promoter, a trainer, a manager, and many other various roles that you come across in the sport of boxing. That is the voice of Tanyani Marageni of Tanya Boxing Promotions, who will jointly promote the next fight of Smangele Smash Hadebe together with Sibongile Matiti of Zibashi Promotions. Let's also welcome to Africa at Play Sibongile Matiti. Sibongile, good afternoon and welcome to Africa at Play.
Good afternoon, Karazi. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thank you for joining us. Happy Women's Month.
Thank you.
Nkosi, thank you so much. Let's get on to it. You will be co-promoting or jointly promoting together with Tanyani Marangeni of Tanya Boxing Promotions, and you are representing Zibashi Promotions. How important is it for promoters to work together? Because this is fresh news to my ears and my eyes to see that women in sport are able to come together and do great things and say, let's jointly promote Smangele Smash Hadebe because of the big fight that's coming up on the 30th of August.
It was a great initiative. It is not only the two of us. We also have two other promoters. We have Melissa Milner from Honeybee Promotions, who is a former SA champion. She's a retired boxer now. We also have Ayanda Matiti, who's from Kabak Promotions. So we decided to have this. He is part of us because he wanted to ignite the collaboration. He has boxers that are playing in the tournament. Even though we are looking at Smash, because we are celebrating Women's Month, we also have Unozule, we also have Van Furen, who are ladies of the night, who is ladies of the night. But we are looking at it this way, that we want to see inclusivity, because we have 3 female bouts and 3 male bouts. That's what we are about, because women in boxing have been trying that if you see boxing, you will only see one bout if there is any bout. So after the the conference that was held here in East London, all we fought for inclusivity. So that's what we are building now through this tournament of 30th August.
If you have just joined us, we're talking to the two women promoters as we continue to celebrate Women's Month, but also throwing forward to an exciting event of boxing that is coming up on the 30th of August, where it is a full-on bill. It is world-class boxing by the women in sport, and we are talking to Sibongile Matiti of Zibashi Promotions together with Tanyani Marangeni of Tanya Boxing Promotions, who will jointly promote Smangele Smash Hadebe. And it's not just the two of them, but there's other promoters on board to make this a special initiative. Interesting indeed. Let's bring back Tanyani Marangeni to the conversation. Tanyani, let's talk about this event coming up on the 30th of August. How important is this upcoming event?
It is important because of August is a Women's Month. And then we have to celebrate our women, and then we must ensure that normally we will find out that many when they host the tournaments like this, you find out that many promoters, when they host the tournament, and then you will find out that there is many bouts for the men. But for this one, it's 50-50. It's for 50% for women and 50% for men, because we are celebrating women for this month, and we are encouraging them and motivating them for because we are motivating them, and then to show that a boxing sport is not only for men, it's also for women as well. And we are encouraging them because there is a scarcity for the female boxers in South Africa, and it's not easy to compete, because you will find out that when you host a tournament like this, let me say maybe you want to host in Gauteng, sometimes you have to get a boxer, maybe you want to host a tournament in Gauteng only. It means you have to get the opponent from other provinces, because we find out that in Gauteng we don't have somebody who can be matched with that boxer. Yeah. And we find out that it's very important, and then so that we can host this, and then as well as Mangele is one of the boxers that we know that in South Africa, most of the boxers, they are scared of fighting with her. If we can have more boxers, maybe some of them they will want to fight with Smangele. But most of the boxers in South Africa, to be honest, they're scared of Smangele. And then in other countries, yes, even in Africa, actually the whole of Africa, they are also afraid of Smangele. But we'll find out that we have to assist as well our female boxers to make sure that we host a tournament for them, so that even other female boxers who are interested to become a boxer, they will see that this female boxing is taking we are taking it seriously.
16:30 in Central African Time. That's the voice of Tanyani Marageni, who is a boxing promoter under Tanya Boxing Promotions. We also have an exciting promoter in Sibongile Matiti of Zibashi Promotions. Ladies, please do stay on the line. We take a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues as we look forward to an exciting event, a celebration of Women's Month through world-class boxing, where we will get to witness a 50-50 scenario when it comes to the boxing bill on the day. Mpumelelo Shabalala and Dales Ara. And we will also get to witness Smangele Smash Hadebe up against Solomon Olampisi of Nigeria, Busakwe Sokbesani up against Matodzi Smelani, and Sitole up against Jansen Van Vieren and Silverman Ntombela. It is going to be exciting indeed. The conversation continues after the short break.
Ahoy, matey!
Captain here to help, right, boys?
Set sail with us on a digital voyage like no other. Channel Africa has a treasure trove of awesomeness. That is our website and social media pages.
Tell me, why are you here?
We want you to be part of our adventure.
The winds are changing, Captain. And this time...
Imagine a world where curiosity knows no bounds, where entertainment meets enlightenment, and where every click leads to the African perspective. Visit us on our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, or follow us on Instagram or on X at Channel Africa One. Go on, like us on Facebook at Channel Africa One. So, spread the word. Tell a friend that Channel Africa's online variety is what they need on the web. Channel Africa, the African perspective. No matter where you are, Channel Africa is always with you.
16:15 Central African Time. Thank you for joining us. If you have just joined us, the conversation continues as we talk about women in sport, where we've got two promoters that will jointly be promoting the big bout between Smangele Smash Hadebe's next fight against Olamiposi Kehinde Solomon, an undefeated Nigerian boxer, for the WBC Africa Flyweight title. The fight is scheduled for the 30th of August at the Kagiso Recreation Center in Johannesburg, South Africa. This bout marks the first time a South African female boxer will compete for the WBC Africa Flyweight title. We've got Tanyani Marageni of Tanya Boxing Promotions, as well as Sibongile Matiti of Zibashi Promotions, and these two powerful ladies are all boxing promoters. Sibongile, let's bring you back to this one. It is a big bout between our very own Smash up against Madam Solomon of Nigeria. Talk to us about how important is this WBC Africa Flyweight title, and also touching on the rest of the bill.
It is very important because if you remember, Smangele is coming from a fight which she lost. So sometimes when boxers lose, they lose their motivation. However, this will be one of the things that will motivate her to stay on the sport. It is very important for her to win this one. If you look at Matonsi, she is a 9-time champion, South African champion in that division. However, we decided to change things and not let her play for the South African title, just to check how her stance will be when it comes to ABU. This bout in itself is very important because of how it is structured. If you look at most of the tournaments that will be held in August, for instance, especially the ones that are taking place now, they are all female bouts. But we decided to go a 50-50 route because we want to be seen as equal as our male counterparts that are in the sport. This one is to elevate everybody. We are elevating promoters, we are elevating boxers, we'll also elevate female officials that will be part of this bill. So it's important for us to close the month of August in this session.
On a high note, indeed, we are talking to the two promoters that are jointly promoting Smangele Smash Hadebe for her upcoming bout against an undefeated fighter from Nigeria, that is Madam Solomon, Olamiposi Solomon. Smangele, let's also talk about the challenges that you are faced with as women in sport, as promoters.
are faced with so many challenges. People don't believe in female promoters. Even when it comes to sponsorship and funding, it's always something that is not easy to get. You are in a space where it has been dominated by male, and it's not easy for them to let go for others to be part of that space. But I think with what we are displaying and what will be displayed on the 30th, it actually means that we do have space, but it means that we need to fight for what we believe in. Because the space, if you're looking at it this way, on how inclusive it is, because everybody is there. Even when it comes to officials, we'll have both males and females. Starting from top, your promoters, we have one male, even though it's dominated by females because it's Women's Month, but we are inclusive of everybody. So it's important for boxing to... what we were saying this other time when we had a conference, we do not want people to feel pity of us because we are females. We just want them to understand that we are in this space and we are here to stay.
I like that attitude to keep going, and I'm also impressed with the fact that you've got that never die attitude to make certain that women are represented well under the umbrella of sport, not just in South Africa or the African continent, but globally. Before I let you go, what do you think is the state of women's boxing in Africa?
Starting from our country, the scarcity of female boxers, and what makes it scarce is because of we do not have action. There are no funds for boxers to fight. They prefer, those young boxers, they prefer to fight in open boxing because there are opportunities there. They get to travel around the world. But when it comes to this sport and when it comes to professional boxing, it's difficult. So it is our plea that the government see the need to be part of these initiatives, because without them, even if we would have private companies partnering with us, but it is government's obligation to make sure that the sports in the country is seen as one of the things that elevates poverty in our communities, because most of these boxers, this is their end meal. They put food on the table through these tournaments. So it's a responsibility for everyone, not just private companies, but governments need to budge and make sure that they do support us. They do help us look for funding.
That's the voice of Sibongile Matiti of Zibashe Promotions. We also have Tangani Marageni of Tanya Boxing Promotions. These two great women in sport will be co-promoting Smangele Smash Hadebe's next fight against Olamiposi Kehinde Solomon, an undefeated Nigerian boxer. Let's bring back to the conversation Tanyani Marageni. Tanyani, how is it working with other female promoters across the African continent? Tanyani? It looks like we've lost that line to Tanyani Marangeni, who represents Tanya Boxing Promotions. Nevertheless, we'll wrap up the conversation with Sibongile Matiti of Zibashe Promotions. Sposh, it looks like you've got the final word to this one. How is it working with promoters across the African continent, especially women promoters?
We have not yet crossed that path. However, it has been a great experience working with those two that are around the country. But with the boxers that we are working with, it is great experience because be it good or bad experience, you get to learn from these experiences, because you have boxers coming from all over Africa, from different countries, but you experience different things from each of the people that will be partaking. But it's a good one because we learn from them and they actually make us better people for the future.
Sibongile Matiti of Zibashe Promotions, who will be co-producing or co-promoting rather with Tanyani Marangeni of Tanya Boxing Promotions for the upcoming exciting event where it will be exchange of heavy punches between a woman in boxing and their male counterpart. It is a 50-50 bill on the 30th of August, where we will witness Smangele Smash Hadebe going up against Olamiposi Kehinde Solomon, an undefeated Nigerian boxer, for the WBC Africa Flyweight title. Spogile, thank you so much for talking to us on Africa at Play. All the best preparing for the 30th of August, and keep going with that attitude of women are in sport to stay, and the sooner those who are not in support of that notion get used to it, the better.
Thank you so much to you and your viewers. Thank you a lot.
16:23 Central African Time. We take a short break. When we come back, we will update you on the latest in sporting action happening on the African continent and globally.
Ahoy, matey!
Captain here to help, right, boys?
Set sail with us on a digital voyage like no other. Channel Africa has a treasure trove of awesomeness. That is our website and social media pages.
Tell me, why are you here?
We want you to be part of our adventure.
The winds are changing, Captain. And this time...
Imagine a world where curiosity knows no bounds, where entertainment meets enlightenment, and where every click leads to the African perspective. Visit us on our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, or follow us on Instagram or on X at Channel Africa One. Go on, like us on Facebook at Channel Africa One. So, spread the word. Tell a friend that Channel Africa's online variety is what they need on the web. Channel Africa, the African perspective. No matter where you are, Channel Africa is always with you.
16:25 Central African Time. If you have just joined us, action continues in the MTN 8 first leg semi-final, and the first semi-final is between the two giants in South African football. Ezimnyama Ngenkani, Orlando Pirates up against Mamelodi Sundowns Escotini at Orlando Stadium, and as it stands, Orlando Pirates, the host outfit, is trailing by a goal to nil. After 65 minutes of football has been played, they are still looking for that equalizer, while Mamelodi Sundowns are knocking for their second goal. Let's now take you to the live action of this match, and remember at 1800 Central African Time, Sekhukhune will be up against Stellenbosch FC, and both matches are live on SABC 1, SABC Plus and SABC radio stations in your language of choice.
Arbone gore mo tsatsing la gompieno tla dira janga Siphombule o le bagana le tlhopha sa gagwe sa maloba le kgetlo la ntlha fa sa la go lo tswa stoppeng se Simuso arbone jalo Igram a ba romela khopele go taboga jalo Jaden arbone Jaden ba ba modika kwa morago ba modekele kwa morago Jaden fela e tswa jalo ka Sethendole wa le bela ntole aba dikuluga le ene ka khwileo le bone. There is light at the end of the tunnel.
16:26 Central African Time, courtesy of SABC Sport, commentary by Watile Jacobs, also known as OJ, doing commentary in his native language of Setswana, one of the 11 official languages spoken in South Africa. Let's also update you that there's action continuing in the ongoing African Nations Championship. Two matches at 1900 Central African Time between Burkina Faso and Madagascar, as well as Central African Republic up against the co-hosting nation Taifa Stars of Tanzania. In the English Premiership, Aston Villa and Newcastle played to a 0-0 draw, and Brighton and Hove Albion, that match is on and it's still 0-0 after 24 minutes of football has been played. Sunderland up against West Ham, also on 0-0 as it stands. Tottenham are leading Burnley by a goal to nil. Wolverhampton Wanderers, also known as Wolves, will take on the Citizens Manchester City, and that match is slated for 18:30 Central African Time. In the French Ligue 1 standings, it will be Lens up against Lyon at 5 p.m. Central African Time. Then at 7 p.m. it will be Monaco up against Le Havre, and at 21:05 Central African Time, Nice will take on Toulouse. And there's action also in the game of rugby, where World Rugby Championship continues, where we will witness South Africa, four-time World Rugby champions, up against the Wallabies of Australia at 17:10 Central African Time, and Argentina Argentina will take on the All Blacks of New Zealand at 23:10 Central African Time. Then there's action in basketball at the men's Afrobasket tournament currently underway in Cote d'Ivoire, also known as Ivory Coast. It is halftime between Senegal and Mali, and Senegal is trailing by 32 points to 40, and Guinea is up against Libya. That match kicking off at 1700 Central African Time. Then Egypt and Uganda will share the court at 1830 Central African Time, followed by Angola up against South Sudan Central African Time. Let's now welcome to Africa at Play Namuchana, our correspondent based in Lusaka, Zambia. So Namuchana, good afternoon and a warm welcome to Africa at Play. You must be a sad man noting that your team in South Africa, Orlando Pirates, is trailing by 1-0 against Mamelodi Sundowns in the first leg semi-final of the MTN 8. 69 minutes of football has been played. Is it enough time for the Buccaneers to bounce back? Will you bounce back?
Yeah, the consequences net of changing coaches here and there. I watched the goal that Mamelodi Sundowns scored. It's a score that was a super goal, and I liked the commentaries that were coming from a man in Siswana there. What a way of describing a goal. Otherwise, I don't think that Orlando Pirates will come back from this. They haven't started this season well. This is not the Orlando Pirates that we have been watching for some seasons now. It's like they have gone down a bit. They have removed their foot on the pedal. So it will take a miracle for them. But anything is possible in football. There is nothing that is impossible. It's all about mindset. But somehow I feel the changing of coaches has had a negative impact on the Orlando Pirates. So we don't know whether it's a matter of keeping the new coach in his seat or maybe to frame the door. We'll just see how it will pan out. But Neto, it is so sad to watch Orlando Pirates struggle in these games. I watched them last week. They couldn't win. I really don't know what is happening. Same players, different coaches, and maybe there isn't that connection between the coaching staff and the players. So we just wait to see. But I'm not. I've been watching this game. I'm watching it here in Zambia at home, and I don't think the way they're playing. Maybe unless a miracle happens, I'm not seeing Orlando Pirates coming back.
And Sana Machana, I want us to talk about what you've just raised about changing of coaches, because sometimes it's not even the plans of the club to change a coach. For an example, with Jose Ribeiro, he had a good run at Orlando Pirates, and I'm certain the club management was still happy to have him on board. But when it's the coach now saying it's time to pack and go because of various reasons, then it becomes tough for the club management, and they end up having to introduce a new coach. What do you think should be the succession plan or the transition, a successful one, between having a good coach and a good run, and knowing that one day this coach might have to go and we can't be caught flat-footed because we've created a culture of winning, and a new coach needs time to adjust and introduce his philosophy to the players. Yet you've got assistant coaches that are often overlooked when that transition happens or that succession plan comes to play.
Yeah, maybe the question we should ask Neto is, what made the coach to pack up his bags and leave Orlando Pirates? Maybe we should be able to do a bit more by digging deeper to find out, because I don't think that he could have just left like that. There should be reasons. Maybe it could have been boardroom squabbles, or maybe he started demanding for higher wages, or maybe where he's gone, they have promised him more money. Maybe they have doubled the money that he was getting at Orlando Pirates. So these are some of the issues that we should be able to investigate and just inquire what led the to that a good coach leave Orlando Pirates just like that. Now, coming back to your question, Neto, I think the only way we are going to cure this, it is to make sure that when these good coaches come to clubs, when these coaches come to national soccer teams, you've seen Neto even in Europe. I'll give you an example of Manchester United. Now they've got Ruben Amorim. When he was employed at Manchester United, he demanded that for him to accept to go and coach Manchester United, unless United was ready to also employ his backroom staff. Okay, the people that he was coaching with in Portugal. So it's like this is the trend now that we are seeing, that whenever you employ a coach, he will come with his assistants, physical trainers, and he will come with goalkeepers, trainers. In my own opinion, I feel it is high time that clubs and national soccer teams in the world, or let me put it this way, the FAs or maybe the management that employ these coaches, they should be able to come up with a plan to say, look, much as you are coming with your own backroom staff, but we are going to attach our own people, the people who have been with this club for a very long time, the people we call legends of this club, so that they become part and parcel of your backroom staff. In case you decide to go, these people will be left with massive knowledge. They would have learned one or two things from you. This is how I feel we're supposed to do things. But what we are witnessing right now, Neto, it is something different. We have allowed these coaches that are coming to coach different clubs to come with their own people. Okay, we should be able to tell them to say, look, we have got our own club legend here, or our two club legends who are also coaches in their own right. So we are going to attach them to your staff. You'll be moving with them, you will coach with them, such that the day that you decide to go, we are going to fall back on these people. So this idea of trusting one person and his staff to come coach, these are the consequences, because the day that they decide just to turn their backs on you, then you realize that it wasn't just a good idea to let them run a club on their own. But I feel the coach who was coaching Orlando Pirates, there is just something big that happened for him to have left Orlando Pirates. Like I earlier alluded to it, it could have been issues maybe to do with boardroom matters, or maybe there was just acrimony in the dressing room, or just something like that, because coaches don't just pack their bags and leave a team without a reason. So if we were to do an investigation, we are going to dig more and find out the real reasons why he left Orlando Pirates. But like I'm saying, we should have a succession plan. We should be able to be... Look, a club should be able to come up with serious plans to say, oh, okay, this guy might just decide one day to say, I'm no longer interested. A Neto Football Club has offered me $100,000 and you guys here, you are giving $50,000. So I feel Neto, a football club, they have offered me $8. So I can't continue coaching you here. So those are the issues. So even when a coach would want to leave you mid-season, you should be able to fall back on your people, the people that you had attached to him. And I feel that is the only way to go, Neto.
Namuchana, our correspondent based in Lusaka, Zambia. So Namuchana, how's the excitement and the vibration with the Zambia Super League kicking off the new season 2025-2026 with a full-on fixture? So Mines United up against Mfulira Wanderers, Muza up against Zanaco, and Kansanshi Dynamos up against Kabwe Warriors. Zesco United taking on Konkola Blades, and Napsa Stars up against Green Eagles. It is a full fixture of different matches taking place across the country.
Yeah, Zambians are super excited after the Zambian League went on recess, and we are aware that the 2024-2025 season, the powerful Power Dynamos were crowned the champions. Even as I'm talking to you right now, they are in Rwanda to go and participate in the CAF Champions League, and this will be their first match. So the Power Dynamos is not taking part in this week's opening fixtures, as they're supposed to have taken the Airmen, the Red Arrows at Arthur Davis Stadium. Everybody is excited, and I can tell you that we missed the Zambian League. It is full of excitement, and what more, people have been waiting to get the news to find out who the new General Secretary for the Football Association of Zambia is. And today, the Football Association of Zambia, Neto, the man who is the Chief Executive of FAS, has been appointed, and they have appointed Neto Chemane, who has 30 years experience in football. So we only hope that we are going to see a much improvement in terms of running football in Zambia. But at top of the week, I think FC Moza versus Zanaco, this is a big one. You are aware, Neto, that Zanaco was nearly relegated the last season. They just survived, and it is a big team. We only hope that they are not going to disappoint their soccer fans this season. Otherwise, the FC Moza also is a it is a big team. And for any information, Neto, FC Moza once represented this country in the CAF for Confederations Cup. Zanaco also at some point representing Zambia in the CAF Champions League. So this is a big one, and FC Moza is owned by the Football Association of Zambia President. This is Keith Mwemba. So super excited. Everybody is excited to welcome the Zambian League back, though everyone was talking about the Power Dynamos versus the Red Arrows, which has been postponed due to the fact that Power they are in the CAF Champions League.
16:41 Central African Time. That's how we wrap up our conversation with our Lusaka-based correspondent, Namuchana. So Namuchana, always a pleasure talking different sporting codes on the African continent with you. Have an awesome afternoon.
Yeah, thank you so much, Neto. Though people are extremely disappointed with the sentiment of the Zambia national soccer team, Abraham Grant, who has angered a lot of people here through his utterances the other day, who said Zambia never went to Chan to win it, but they just went there for window shopping to see which players can play for the Zambia national soccer team. Very disappointing words coming from the Zambia national soccer team coach.
Disappointing indeed, especially considering how the Kenyans are taking this tournament serious, with the country president William Ruto promising a cool 20,000 per every Kenyan player if they beat Chipolopolo of Zambia tomorrow. Yet in Zambia, it's a different case. The mentor feels like it's just to give players an opportunity and see who else can form part of the bigger pool of Chipolopolo. But hey, in sport, one knows that we're always playing to win, but coaches don't always see it the same way. That was Namuchana. 16:42 Central African Time. We take a short break. Coming up next is Sports News.
You like what we do on Channel Africa? Then follow us on our socials. Channel Africa 1 on all social pages. And get the African perspective. Africa at Play with Neto and Neto Chemane.
A warm welcome to Africa at Play, 16:42 Central African Time. Thank you for choosing Africa's number one. It's time for Sports News. Starting off with motorsports news, Ducati's Marc Marquez won the Australian Grand Prix sprint on Saturday despite starting on the second row of the grid, beating his brother and closest championship contender Alex to the finish line at the Red Bull Ring. Having never won a race in Austria, the Spaniard executed a flawless race from fourth on the grid to take his 12th sprint victory in 13 rounds this season, underlining his supreme dominance in the shorter format. The victory moves Marc Marquez 123 points clear of Gresani Racing's Alex Marquez at the top of the championship and 180 above Ducati teammate Francesco Bagnaia, who was forced to retire due to problems with his bike. KTM's Pedro Acosta came third in the team's home race to complete an all-Spanish podium, while Aprilia's pole sitter Marco Bezzecchi finished fourth. In tennis news, Tennis South Africa TSA President Gavin Crooks has hinted at promoting General Manager Anthony Morutani to the position of the Chief Executive Officer, CEO. Morutani, who started out as a volunteer before rising to the head of media communications and later General Manager, has been with the Federation for more than a decade. Currently pursuing his MBA, he is being considered to replace former CEO Andre Homan, who stepped down at the end of the 2021 after 5 years in charge. Crooks told SABC Sport that Morutani has been competently managing both GM and CEO duties, making him the ideal choice for the permanent role.
The situation is that Anthony is our general manager. He's effectively doing most of the tasks and responsibilities that a CEO would. I think without breaking too many confidences, I think it's probably likely that Anthony will become our CEO in title, if that's what we want to call it. Effectively, he's doing that anyway. With my help and guidance and mentorship, etc., we're ticking many of the boxes that there was a gap. I wasn't in the office 24/7. It definitely needs someone in the office 24/7. There were a lot of operational matters that needed a hands-on approach, which Anthony is dealing with very capably in terms of engaging with sponsors and all the information that they need. Anthony came from the sponsorship stakeholder. He was the manager of that anyway, so he's just carried on running with that. And
Now, in his third term as president, Crooks says sponsors are impressed with the work of the Limpopo-born administrator. He added that Morutani is successfully negotiating new sponsorship deals and delivering results in that area.
Believe, and I'm seeing, if you look at what happened, during Wimbledon at Monte Casino, Anthony ran all that, and our sponsors, Amex, American Express, and Nedbank are over the moon with that. We're in the process, Anthony's in the process of negotiating the renewal of that sponsorship, and we're very positive from the feedback we're getting that they are extremely satisfied, and we're building on that without any doubt. So we're ticking those boxes without any doubt, Charles.
Crooks, who served as the TSA Vice President from 2010 to 2013, told the national broadcaster that Morutani's in-depth knowledge of the Federation made him the obvious choice for the GM post.
He started off, as you said, as a volunteer with BLB Promotions, and then he ended up in wheelchair tennis. He made a mark for himself there, and then when and just before wheelchair tennis merged into Tennis South Africa, Richard Glover, who was then the CEO of Tennis South Africa, employed him as our stakeholder manager, etc. And Anthony's made his mark, and it was a natural progression between his the dynamism that he brought to tennis, or brought into the office, his enthusiasm, and then he's currently studying for his MBA at Wits University, and all those factors. It was, at the end of the day, it was a natural choice, and he knows the business of tennis in terms of how it's run, back to front, it was an easy decision at the end of the day for the board to offer him the position of general manager.
The KwaZulu-Natal-born administrator says Mauritania has the respect and support of everyone at Tennis South Africa and that the organization has achieved a notable success since he took up the role.
Etc. And to date, I must say to you, we are extremely happy, and I certainly know all the people that I engage with, he's certainly making his mark. So, we've ticked some boxes.
Still with tennis news, world number one Aryna Sabalenka and second-ranked Coco Gauff were sent crashing out of the ATP WTA Cincinnati Open on Friday as Carlos Alcaraz fought off a fierce challenge from Andrew Rublev to reach the semifinals. Top seed and defending champion Sabalenka had no answer for Elena Rybakina, failing to the 2022 Wimbledon champion 6-1, 6-4. Reigning French Open champion Gauff had 16 double faults in a 2-6, 6-4, 6-3 exit at the hands of 7th-seeded Italian Jasmine Paolini. In cricket news, aiming for a historic victory on Saturday, a fighting Proteas team were held off by Australia in a nail-biting battle as the hosts secured a 2-wicket victory in the third and final T20 International in Cairns. With South Africa in search for the first T20 series win in Australia, their party was spoiled by the home side, who wrapped up a 2-1 series triumph. Set a target of 173 to win, Australia got off to a cracking start with captain Michelle Marsh and Travis Head sharing 66 runs for the first wicket. However, Head was removed by Aidan Markram for 19 runs in the 8th over to break the partnership, and Marsh was dismissed by teenager Kwena Mapaka midway through the innings after hitting 54 of 37. Here's Proteas coach Shukri Conrad.
Yeah, obviously disappointing the result. What was it, a few weeks ago in Zim as well, we played New Zealand in the final. A game we should have won going into the last over, so that result didn't go our way. But in and amongst all of that, I'm really happy with the growth. I'm happy with the progress that's being made. You can see the guys that have been playing, and you can see the guys that have come off a bit of a sabbatical. Just a little bit of rustiness and that. But to answer the question, yes, I'm happy with how we're shaping up. We've got 14 T20s before the World Cup. So, yeah, all's good, and we'll keep building on that. I heard Aiden say now he's only 22. I hope he's obviously going to grow older, but I hope he continues to play like a 22-year-old. I think sometimes with experience, guys tend to adjust the way they play. But yeah, he's a breath of fresh air. He's probably has nailed down that spot as he's going forward. And I'm sure he'll spur on guys in the side to take on things a bit earlier as well. But yeah, he's a special talent. I went out on a limb the other night saying he's a generational talent. I certainly think in this format he is. And this is what we're always wanting to achieve. We want to see a fight right to the end. We don't want guys to throw in the towel at any stage. The side mustn't know when they beat. All of the cliches. But yes, really, really pleased with the way we stuck at it. And then, yeah, look, to say we got the rot end of the conditions, probably a little bit sounds like an excuse. But look, the ball was getting really wet. If you said to me that one of the world's best bowlers, Kagiso Rabada, was going to bowl a beamer like that, and the free hit goes for 6, I'd never believe you. So little small margins, disappointing again the result. But I sit here really confident and comfortable with what's transpired in these 3 matches.
In boxing news, Boxing South Africa BSA CEO Tsulo Lejaka is excited about his return to the organization on a permanent basis, saying there is now more stability and a solid vision for the future. Lejaka, who had been back at BSA since October last year as an acting CEO, was appointed permanently again in June this year, paving way for a fresh start for him at the organization. He had been BSA's CEO between 2016 and 2020 and improved the sport during that period. Lejaka now believes that they stand to do even much better.
Check this. Quite excited about it. I mean, if you look at it now, it's almost for 2 months. I think we're going for just for 2 months since I've now been the substantive CEO. But I was acting since last year, 12 September, which means next month it will be 12 months where I'll say I've presided over the affairs of boxing in South Africa. The work speaks for itself. If you remember, you've not heard of any intra-sectoral conflict from the boxing community out in the public. Not that we are differing, but we've just created a platform where you talk about these things, thresh out the differences. We are from the Boxing Convention. We've got a set of resolutions that we've got there. There's been ministerial programs that honor our legends.
PSA has always struggled to attract commercial partners, with most of the focus on event organizers or promoters. However, Lejaka now talks about a revenue-generating strategy they are embarking on and the financial controls they have employed.
In terms of governance and stability, we've just gotten out of the audit process. Auditor General, we now know where we stand with the AG, at least except yesterday. I'm going to keep you guessing on that. But I think the message that's coming across is that, we've stabilized the internal control environment and our finances as well. There was a time, last year this time, if you were to ask me, I was going to tell you I'm not sure if there will be salaries or not. We're confident about our cash flow. So the big things that I think one needs to do from a perspective of an accounting authority, which means the board, but also the perspective of an accounting officer, I think we've taken care of that business. And that was the business that we had to do behind closed doors. And people are now saying, but where are the programs, So you're going to start seeing us coming out very sharply in terms of program pronouncements.
During the boxing convention earlier this year in East London, Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, Gayton McKenzie, announced the introduction of a Steve Chwete boxing tournament. At the time, it was said it would start at the end of April, but there hasn't been any update on it since then. But Lejaka now reveals that they are moving on this tournament.
There's a revenue generation strategy that we've adopted. It's multifaceted. There's certain things in the strategy which are under our direct control as Boxing South Africa. There are others that have got third-party dependencies. So let's start with the ones that are under our direct control. It's about prudent management of our resources, making sure that we stretch the rent as much as possible. And we've done that very well. We've reduced our expenditure trends by far. But it came at a cost. If you would have noticed, you've not been seeing us too much on the ground and in all provinces because we have had to contain. And then secondly, there are these things that I say have got third-party dependencies. Among those that have got third-party dependencies, the conversation that we are having with the department to assist us with some of our financial pressures. And that has actually paid off. Then there's work that we are doing with the provinces. For example, this boxing series, part of the money that rolls it out is the money that we get from the provinces through the national grant allocation. Then thirdly, there's work that we are currently doing with the broadcasters because broadcasters might not necessarily have direct cash to inject into our programs, but generally speaking, there are many opportunities that are coming from there. Then just largely and lastly is what we are doing with the corporates. So in terms of stabilizing the finances, we have had to rely on things that we've got direct control over, and then our assistance from the department, which is our major shareholder.
16:56 Central African Time, the MTN 8 first leg match between Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns ended in an exciting 1-1 draw. We've got Annika Launch to tell us more about what's coming up on Mix Vibration. Bonjour.
Bonjour Neto, bonjour à tous les auditeurs de Channel Africa. Alors, on se retrouve tout à l'heure à 17h juste pour suivre Mix Vibration, votre émission préférée de détente, de divertissement. Nous allons nous enjailler au son des rythmes et des sons, des rythmes, je voulais dire des chansons, des belles chansons des artistes du continent. Nous allons écouter de la musique d'un peu partout, du Nigeria, de la République démocratique du Congo, d'un peu partout en Afrique. Et nous allons aujourd'hui nous entretenir avec l'artiste Yaxi qui nous vient du Sénégal. En tout cas, chers auditeurs, restez connectés afin de découvrir ce nouveau talent de l'Afrique. Merci beaucoup, Neto.
Merci beaucoup. You can look forward to an exciting Mix of Brazil coming up just after saying goodbye on Africa at Play. We will be back again tomorrow, same place, same time, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central African Time. Thank you to our audiovisual streaming team, Ntlatla Ngcobo, together with Tabang Lavisa, as well as our social media guru, Dumis Lema, and my producer, Andisiwe Fagimalu Zobona Mali, not forgetting our sound engineer, Wise Man, the Wise Mangele. My name is Neto, Neto Chemane. Hosiati, Konyangazi, Mumka, Pandle Kunjani, Moyani, Voko Dendele. Africa and the world, estamos juntos, we are together. Africa at Play, hasta el Shire. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.